Alright, hey, welcome back everybody. Here's part 2 of this month's Genshin's Whales log. Again, the reason why this Whales log for this month is going to be so long, or is so long, is because we have a lot of new viewers who came here from my gacha addiction video. And so yeah, I've been doing a quick rundown, well, not really quick, the first video was like almost an hour and a half long, but I've been doing a rundown, again, of all of my characters on my account. The first part we went over all the 4 stars, and the second part we're gonna start with we're gonna go over the 5 stars now. So here we go. Let's get right into it. So here's Mr. Diluc. I got his skin right when it came out. Still kind of a shame that his skin is the only 5-star skin in the game, and Ganyu's and Shenhe's skins are still only 4-star. What I mean by that is if you go to the shop, see their skins, right? If you go to the character outfits tab, you notice that these are all purple backgrounds. Every single skin in the game that we have currently has a purple background. That means it's only a 4-star skin. Like if you purchase the skin, for those guys who have, you may remember that when you get the skin, the game gives you like a little bit of a splash art or whatever, kind of like if you pull something or somebody from gacha, and it should only have 4 stars on it. But Diluc's, for those of you who didn't know this somehow, his skin has a gold background, and that means it's a 5-star skin. And so that's why Diluc's skin, and only his skin, I believe it's only him, has actual unique animations that are different to his default. Right over here, yeah. So if you change him over to his default one, you know, he's got a different eagle animation where he summons his eagle and it sits on his arm, whereas in his skin, it drops him like a scroll that he has to read or something like that. So yeah, yeah, wish they could put out more 5-star skins. Not sure what's taking them so long, because we've had this skin for over a year now. So yeah, kind of a shame that they don't put out more skins than they do, because you know it's literally, you know, they're literally losing out on a ton of extra money that they could easily make just for putting out skins. But oh well, that's their decision. Anyways, here's my Diluc stats. 60 CR, 167 CD, a little bit of energy recharge. Honestly, that's more than enough for him, because you know, 40 cost ult and all that. He's got a copy of Wolf's Gravestone and 4-piece Crimson Witch and C6 and 99. Yeah, pretty standard. I believe Diluc was my first 5-star. I want to say he was my starter 5-star when I rolled back when Genshin first came out. So yeah, started with them. I use them every now and then. My OG Abyss team back in the day was Diluc, Fischl, Venti, and Jean. Yeah, still remember that team. I actually still use that team every now and then if I'm feeling a little fruity. So yeah, I just remember his artifacts being a bitch to farm, because Crimson Witch domain back in the day was a massive pain in the ass. I mean, a lot of the initial domains in like Mondstadt and Liyue. Actually, Liyue domains were all right, except for the weapon materials domain. That domain was kind of annoying. Well, actually, the Crimson Witch domain was also in Liyue too. So yeah, not all the Liyue domains were easy. Some of them were kind of annoying, Crimson Witch especially. But I mean, hey, at least it's not as bad as like the talent book domain in Mondstadt, at least, because that was a different form of fucking awful back in the day. But in any case, yeah, nothing real special with my Diluc. He's just there. He's a workhorse. That's all. That's kind of always what he's always been. And so yeah, put some respect on his name. I don't give a shit if people say he's not meta anymore. I still use him every now and then. Klee, here's Klee. She has a copy of Lost Prayer, and then yeah, she's got 71, 200 crit rate, crit damage with a little bit of ER. She should probably have a little bit more ER than that, because I think she has a 60 cost ult. Yeah, shouldn't be too bad though. At least I sure hope not. But I haven't used Klee in a long ass time. I'm not gonna lie. Ironically, I did work on her artifact. I always wanted to, for the longest time I should say, my Klee she went like, I think a stretch for like a year and a half where like I kept like cannibalizing her artifacts. So I took her artifacts and gave to other pyro characters who were newer. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna put a stop to it. I'm gonna give her her own artifact set once and for all. And so I again began to strongbox Crimson Witch artifacts until she has the stat line that you see here. And so yeah, like I'm very happy with anything that any character that manages to hit like 70 crit rate, 200% crit damage, and Klee basically falls right in line with that. So like I don't feel any need to change this build. In part because I don't really play her anymore. I mean, beyond like year 1, I haven't really played Klee at all. So, I did pick up her skin though from the last summer event. So, there's that. But yeah, she has a copy of Lost Prayer. Obviously helps out with the crit rate. And then 4-piece Crimson Witch. Only C0. Even back then, I only bothered rolling for 1 copy. And 999. So yeah, there you go. Still waiting on her mom to show up in the game. But yeah, here's Klee. Her outfit's very cute, though. It's nice that she got one at least. And then, of course, being our classic Genshin terrorist lolly, there she goes talking about bombs again. Or at least I think she was talking about bombs. Bombs? Here's Hu Tao, everybody's favorite Hu Tao. As she does her little hilly troll dance. So, my Hu Tao, I also want her to get to 70% crit rate. Ideally, I wanted to get her to 7250 crit rate crit damage. She's already at 250 crit damage. I just need to get one more, I just need to revise like one artifact somewhere that has a single extra roll and crit rate. Even if it rolls min roll crit rate, as long as it does that at least. I mean, she'll be at 69.9%. Crit rate, which I would at that point I would consider good enough at 70. Like it's basically 70%, so whatever. But the fact that it's only at 67 right now, it kind of bothers me. So there you go. So yeah, Staphahoma naturally, and then I run her standard 4-piece Crimson Witch with the power damage bonus cup and an HP percent timepiece. So yeah, like any one of these pieces, like I could try looking for an improvement on. Except for her circlet, of course. Can't prove that, obviously. But yeah. Honestly, though, her cup, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to find a better cup than that, because it's literally giving her 14%. Her timepiece will probably be the most likely artifact that I can change. Because, yeah, it's double crit, and the rolls seem pretty standard here. Probably a 3-line start with, what, 1 roll, flat defense, and then 2 rolls crit rate, and then 2 rolls crit damage. Yeah, sounds about right. So I can this is probably her timepiece is her most likely what is it? Her most likely, you know, artifact that I can change to give her a little bit extra crit rate. Because yeah, if this flat defense had gone into crit rate instead, so 3 rolls into crit rate, then that would have been perfect, and I wouldn't be. I would actually be very happy with my Hu Tao build. So yeah. I don't know if I can change her feather, because this is giving her a shit ton of crit damage. I mean, I could try and pray that I find like a double crit feather that also rolls like 3-4 times in the crit damage, but you know, the likeliness of that happening is very low. This is an absolute cracked off-piece flower for her. The story behind this is that I had a lot of, like, over the years, I just kind of accumulated a lot of very strong potential gladiator flowers, and feathers for that matter too, because you know, all the years of me grinding elite bosses to level everybody up to level 90, so you know, I've gotten quite a few gladiator pieces at least, and some wandering pieces as well. And so yeah, one day I was like, you know what, because I'm trying to clean up my artifact inventory, like I might as well try to see how many of these flowers and feathers for that matter can like actually roll some decent crit stats. And so I did, and some of these actually did turn out to become pretty good. Like the one that my Hu Tao, my flower that my Hu Tao has, double crit, right? Easy 40% CV or 40 CV. This one also rolled pretty damn well too. I don't know if this is quite 30 CV or 40 CV. What is this? 33.4? Yeah, it's barely not. It's like less than 1% under 40 CV. So I'm assuming the actual rolls on this that went to crit rate kind of blew dick. Like it probably mid rolled on average or something. I also got this one too. This one's pretty good. Again, not sure if it's not quite 20 C. It's not quite 40 CV because yeah, got 1 roll into both flat and attack percent. It probably rolled really well into crit rate though, because yeah, it probably max rolled crit rate or something. What's what it looks like. This one I think is... This should be 20 CV, or 40. Why do I keep saying 20? 40 CV, because 21.8? 21.8, yeah, it's barely 40 CV. But yeah, this one rolled really well. If it weren't for the flower that my Hu-Tao has right now, I could probably give her this one, because it gives her HP percent. Actually, I probably should, because she probably benefits a little more from HP percent. Actually, Hu-Tao's one of the... Since Hu-Tao was an early HP scaling character, she actually doesn't mind attack percent stats, now that I think about it. So actually, now this flower is actually probably okay. But this one's pretty close, to be fair. And we have this one, too. Not quite 40 CV, but hey, at least it has a ton of crit rate and a little bit of a ER on the side, too. And this one, too. Lots of ER here. Or decent chunk of ER, and then double crit. So yeah, lots of gladiator flowers that turned out to be pretty good. So I've locked them. I keep them around. I'll probably lock that one too. I keep them around just in case anybody needs like a really good off-piece flower, and my Hu-Tao happened to need one. So there you go. I gave her that one. She is C4, not quite C6 though. I do like Hu-Tao, but I wouldn't really consider her one of my waifus per se. Not in Genshin. 9-12-9. But yeah. Again, I'll try to, once I'm done strong boxing for like a full 4-piece noblesse set on my Chevy, I'll probably move on to trying to strong box more Crimson Witch pieces and try to see if I can get a really good HP percent timepiece or something for my Hu-Tao. So that way I can give her a flat 70% crit rate with about, 250% crit damage or something. I wouldn't mind my Hu-Tao going down to like maybe 230 or 240 crit damage if it means that I can give her 70% crit rate, but ideally I'd like to maintain 70-250 for my Hu-Tao. Ironically, with how much investment I've given to my Hu-Tao, I actually don't even use Hu-Tao that much, which is kind of funny. I know Hu-Tao is a popular choice for a lot of players out there. But just as a character and for, Abyss, meta, whatever, what have you. I actually don't use Hu-Tao that much, so. Despite how well she is built already. Yeah. I don't even fucking use her. But, who I do use, much more often, is Yoimiya. And these are what her stats look like. 75 crit rate, 234 crit damage, and a little bit of energy recharge, but because I have her on 4-piece Shimenawa, that ER doesn't really matter. In fact, that ER probably actively hurts her because, one of the things about Thundering Pulse is that... Actually, not Thundering Pulse. Is it about Thundering Pulse? I forget. It's probably about Thundering Pulse. But whenever, basically, your Yoimiya has to be under full charge, full ult charge, for her to be stronger. I believe that's part of Thundering Pulse's passive here. I forget exactly where that comes from. Yeah, energy is less than 100% and stack disappears when energy is full, yeah. So ideally, Yoimiya doesn't want her ultimate at all. Or not fully charged anyway. And if it is, she wants to get rid of it immediately, thanks to Thundering Pulse. But again, my Yoimiya is on 4-piece Shimenawa. Originally, she was on 4-piece Crimson Witch, and then I saw a buddy of mine working on his Yoimiya build because that particular friend of mine, his name is X0, he also streams. Both he and I originally started with FGO. Well, we knew each other from FGO, or we still do know each other, and we met first when we first got into FGO. I mean, I believe he'd been playing gacha games before I did. So he's been playing gacha games for a little bit longer than me, I think. Pretty sure anyway. But yeah, we both met each other through FGO when we started playing. Maybe like, I don't know, a couple months in, maybe a year in or something like that. And he's a very big fan of the characters that Yoimiya's voice actress voices in FGO, and just the Fate verse in general. His waifu is Rin Tosaka in FGO, obviously. We have Ishtar. So, yeah, naturally, Ishtar and all her variants, he really, really likes. And so, when he started playing Genshin as well, he picked up Yoimiya immediately, and, the rest is history, right? So, I saw him working on his Yoimiya when I was lurking his stream one day, like a couple years ago, like last year or 2 years ago, I forget exactly when. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to switch my Yoimiya over to 4-piece Shimenawa too. And so, yeah, here it is. after a couple months of on and off grinding of emblem domain. This was before we got strongbox emblem and Shimenawa pieces, by the way, obviously. And so yeah, I managed to give her some decent pieces. Ideally, again, my Yoimiya is kind of a reverse situation from Hu Tao, where Hu Tao I want to raise her crit rate a little bit, even at the expense of a little bit of crit damage. Yoimiya is the reverse, where I actually want to shave off. I'd be okay with shaving off a little bit of crit rate for my Yoimiya in exchange for more crit damage. Again, 7250 would be excellent here. I feel like for Yoimiya. I mean, hell, if actually Yoimiya, both Staff of Homa and Thundering Pulse have the exact same stats, right? Yeah, same base stat. Base attack stat and same crit damage stat. So yeah, I was about to say, like, wait a minute, are they the same? And sure enough, they are. They're the same in terms of like stat sticks. So yeah, I kind of want to do that for Yoimiya. Let's see. Her Pyro Cup is actually pretty damn good. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get a better one anytime soon. Her timepiece is probably the most likely one that I could change. Actually, no. But, for my Yoimiya, I want more crit damage. So yeah, no, I was thinking of Hu Tao again. No, I can't change my timepiece. Unless somehow I find a better one that has, you know, even more crit damage. If only the HP roll HP percent roll here went into crit damage instead for like 35% or something like that. That would have been nice. Oh, that's the timepiece again. God, her feather, man. Like, I remember fucking grinding my ass off and leveling a whole bunch of different feathers. Like, that's why I have so many max enhanced Shimenawa feathers here. Like, I have this one, I have this one, I have this one, this one, this one. Like, all these feathers I leveled specifically to try to improve this one, because I believe this is the very first feather my Yoimiya ever had. I ever gave to her, and or at least when I switched her over to 4-piece Shimenawa from 4-piece Crimson Witch, and to this day it's still her best one, at least according to what she has for her other artifacts. So yeah, yeah, nothing else offers as much crit damage as this one does. Yeah. It's pretty damn good. I mean, honestly, yeah, this feather is 40 CV after all, because, you know, 14.8, 26, yeah, it's 40 CV. 41.2 or something. So, yeah. I've tried many times, as you can see here. And, of course, this doesn't show you all the failed feathers that I tried rolling for her, too, obviously. But yeah, the first Shimenawa feather she got, still the best one, still standing. So, it's defeated all pretenders to the throne, and it'll stay there until I decide to try to grind for a better feather again for some reason. Same thing with her her flower. As you can see here, I've got a couple flowers that I've tried leveling up to try to rival this one, the one she has now. This wasn't the original flower that my Yoimiya had. This one is different. It's probably like her second or third iteration. But yeah, this one's the best one by far because it has the most amount of crit damage. And yeah. There you go. Suppose the ER would have been better with like attack percent, but you know, beggars can't be choosers and all that. And then, yeah, and this is my best crit rate inset circlet so far. Again, 2 rolls into EM and flat attack. Would have been nice if they went to crit damage instead, but again, until I somehow find a better crit rate Shimenawa circlet, which again, I don't know when that'll be. Probably never. I think I have some. Yeah, I might have some. Nah, I don't think so. They're all crit damage. They're all crit damage main stat or something. I mean, unless I pull off what I did with Navia and then get like a penta crit rate roll, that'd be fantastic, but I doubt that's gonna happen. In any case, yeah, so those are my Yoimiya's pieces. Either way, though, I'm very proud of my Yoimiya build. She still absolutely melts people, especially if I play her perfectly, you know. Shimenawa stacks and make sure she's nowhere near her ultimate when she starts shooting. So yeah, there you go. So R1 Thundering Pulse, 4-piece Shimenawa, C6 Yoimiya. Yoimiya, quick bit of trivia here. Yoimiya is my least expensive C6 character to date. Yeah, by far. I can't give you an exact amount. I roughly estimate to be around like $800 for Yoimiya, but considering that my average C6 character has cost me more than 1,000, yeah, anything less than that is a godsend for me personally. Like, I remember just not losing a lot of coin flips when I was going for C6 Yoimiya. Like, I lost it maybe twice? So, two losses out of 7. So, that's pretty good by my standards. Usually, I lose the coin flip like 3 or 4 times. As far as my C6 endeavors have gone in this game, in Genshin. And, yeah, Yoimiya is the first character so far in this video that I've triple crowned. Look at her. She's so cute. But, yeah, I've triple crowned Yoimiya. Do not regret it. I don't give a fuck how many people out there say Yoimiya is bad. Yoimiya is bad. Wah, wah, wah. Put some pussy shit if you know what I'm saying. But yeah, no. I love my Yoimiya. I use her often. And yeah, especially whenever we come across the Thundering Manifestation or the Thunder Manifestation boss in Abyss. Yeah, Yoimiya just kind of shits all over him. Pretty funny. Lyney, alright, so Lyney, I only have C0, let's just get that out of the way for the moment, but I did roll at least 1 copy of him. His stats are not that great. I know he's potentially very powerful, but I haven't really used him much. I'm not really that interested in him anyway. But I did give him some stats at least to work with. So 68 CR, 150 CD, obviously being a 5-star, that could be much better, especially because I did roll for his weapon too, the first great magic here. So I did roll for both him and his weapon. And I do have him on the hunter set. I believe the hunter set is what he wants. Actually, thanks to this, his base crit rate doesn't actually need to be this high, because he'll get 32% crit rate. So actually, he'll have 100% crit rate if hunter set kicks in. The effects of hunter set kicks in. So I should probably tone that down a little. Tone down his crit rate and give him like maybe a crit damage circle instead. Yeah, crit damage circle would probably be better. This is offset, so I could probably look for a crit damage off piece somewhere here. I'm sure I've got some lying around. But yeah, again, he's only C0. His artifacts themselves are also not very good either. Like all the hunter sets ones. I haven't actually taken the time to grind a whole bunch of sets or artifacts from the hunter / golden trope domain anyway. Ironically, I've spent a lot of my frag resin that I saved up on Navia's Nighttime Whispers domain instead, because Navia's been my favorite character out of all the Fontaine characters so far. Her with Furina. So yeah, not a lot of stamina spent on the first artifact domain we got in Fontaine, unfortunately. So yeah, his cup is not that good. Timepiece is pretty trash. His feathers, actually his feathers kind of trash too. Like technically, yeah, it's double crit, but literally only 1 crit rate roll. It's like, all right, dude. And then his flower doesn't even have any crit stats whatsoever. And then yeah, honestly, his circlet's probably the best artifact that I have on him, probably. But yeah. You can probably tell that Lyney and a lot of all the Fontaine characters so far is like the start of when I stopped wailing super hard on Genshin. Because again, last year, I got laid off my job and, you know, got to work off my savings and whatnot, try to become a content creator, try to make it out here. But so far, it hasn't really worked out. Maybe the future will be a little bit better. Who knows? Especially if I manage to score a more stable job again. That I can finally go back to paying for dumb gacha games again. So, but yeah, unfortunately, Lyney is kind of like the turning point for me where I've stopped wailing on Genshin. So, maybe one day I'll be able to come back to him and try to work on his artifacts and do him a bit more justice, obviously, because for a 5-star with a weapon that gives him crit damage main stat, yeah, the stat line looks kind of sad. And yeah, trust me, I don't want to leave him like this if I have a choice. But right now, I don't have a choice, unfortunately. Anyways, Tartaglia. So, I believe he was one of my first C6 characters, but not by choice, because Tartaglia's... I don't know if you guys remember this, but back in the day, we used to meme Tartaglia because he was like the one character that MiHoYo, like, for some reason kept rerunning. Like, he had 3 banners like in like 1 year, which is kind of funny. For some reason, I guess people really like Tartaglia. Still do, in fact. But yeah, I have Tartaglia here, and yeah, he was one of my first C6 characters, not by choice, because a lot of they reran him with new 4-stars. I remember Rosaria came out on a Tartaglia banner. So yeah, I probably got him to C6 then, while I was chasing for C6 Rosaria too. So yeah, there you go. Here is his stats: 7190. Not bad. Again, I would love to get him to 7200. That would look a lot better with a little bit of ER. He does have a copy of Polar Star, and then he's on 4-piece Heart of Depth, his original artifact set, I believe. And he is at C6, like I said, and I've explained already why he's there. I'm still glad that I do have him at C6 because his C6 is very convenient. Him being able to basically just melee stance twice in a row, or have 2 like DPS rotations back to back without you having to wait for his cooldown on his stance. So yeah, that's pretty cool. So whenever I do use Tartaglia, which actually is sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes. But whenever I do use him, he's always fun to play, especially because he's at C6. But he is at 10, 12, 12. The reason why this is 10 is because of his one of his passives. I believe it is, yeah, this one, Mastery of Weaponry. So that's why it automatically raises his normal attack to by 1 level. So that's why it's at level 10. It's not that I've crowned it, because as you can see here, I can still technically level it up. Well, not technically, I still can level it up. But yeah, that's why it's at level 10, in case you guys missee that. It's like, no, I have not crowned my Tartaglia, at least not yet. But yeah, again, he's one of the characters where, like, eventually I do want to go back to revising his artifacts to make his crit stats look a little bit better. Again, the dream is 7,200. But one day, maybe one day. Kokomi, my beloved. Okay, so hell yeah, time to talk about Kokomi. First things first, for the record, I was one of the original Kokomi stans back when she first came out. I was one of her few supporters, not like the 90% detractors that most of the Genshin community was. If you shit on Kokomi back in the day, kindly please go fuck yourself. Kokomi stands stay winning. She has been vindicated through the passage of time. Anyways, now that I got that off my chest, here are his stats. Obviously, crit rate doesn't fucking matter for her. Crit rate, crit damage, neither of that. She's got 28%, what is it, 28% healing, energy recharge. Ideally, it should be a little bit higher, but for how I play her, if I can stop stuttering. Yeah, this is more than enough. Like, I don't really have a problem with my Kokomi's, what is it, rotations. This used to be higher, but I did replace one of her artifacts somewhat recently, so she did lose a little bit of ER. So it used to be over 30%. If it's over, if your Kokomi has over 30% energy recharge, I think that should be okay. Especially if she's on a team with another Hydro character, because that Hydro character can act like as a little bit of a battery for Kokomi as well. So yeah, ideally, if you run Kokomi, she should have at least 30%, but anywhere near it, that's fine. Or at least it should be. 85% healing damage bonus, because one of her passives lets her scale with healing bonus, I believe. She's got a donut, a purple donut, and of course 4-piece Ocean Hue. I was kind of hoping that the new the Song of Days Past or whatever, that new artifact set that came with Navia's, that domain, the Wen domain or whatever it's called. I was hoping that would maybe be like at least a rival 4-piece Ocean Hue, but then after doing a little bit of research, seems like it's not really, like Kokomi doesn't really want Song of Days Past, so I'm gonna keep her on 4-piece Ocean Hue for the time being. One day I do want to, after everything else is done, I do want to eventually strong box Ocean Hue pieces, because I do want to make her as strong as possible. The one edit that I made was, I think, to her feather? I want to say it was to her feather. It's either her feather or something else. When I was like, I noticed that her previous feather, it was this one, had a ton of attack percent, which I gave to her initially because, whatever. She'll probably be able to use that attack percent somehow. But then after thinking about it, I was like, well, Kokomi probably doesn't want attack percent because she's one of those new age HP scaling characters where they don't benefit from attack percent at all. Or at least I don't think they do. So yeah, I was like, I'll try. I guess on just one day on a whim, I was like, I have one of these Ocean Hue pieces lying around. I'll try to level this, see if she gets anything. And sure enough, it actually rolled like, I don't know, twice or 3 times into HP percent. I think twice. I think, yeah, 112 or something, or 113. Could even be no, actually can't be 122. It's probably 122. So yeah, there you go. I was more HP percent. All right, cool. I just gave it to her. Unfortunately, by doing that, because her previous feather had a little bit of energy recharge, that dropped her ER from like, I don't know, 135 all the way down to 128. So it does hurt a little, but nothing that I can't handle, or at least nothing that my Kokomi can't handle. Let's see. Let's start with, where's the cup? This is her cup. A little bit of HP, energy recharge, EM, hydro damage bonus. Because I actually do run my Kokomi not only as a healer but also as a DPS. Like you'd be surprised how much damage Kokomi can do. Which I don't know why people overlooked that back then. Because I think people just hyper fixated on ew, she can't crit, therefore she's bad. So yeah, once again, daily reminder, fuck you guys. Anybody who believed that. Ew, no crit, that means she's bad. God, the average fucking autism that the sheer amount of autism that the average Genshin player has. For real. Her HP percent. This one has a bit of injury charge and a little bit of attack percent too. This one I don't mind because obviously she can't get HP percent as a subset because it's her main stat. Duh. So here I don't mind this having a lot of attack percent. Honestly, it's probably better if she got EM instead. Again, because I don't know how much she really benefits from attack percent. Probably not a whole lot. So yeah, EM probably would have been nicer here, but I'm not really in the mood to try to, try to get a really good HP percent timepiece with both EM, ER. That'll probably take a while, not gonna lie. So we'll see. ER, EM, and then flat HP perhaps, because again, I can't get HP percent on a timepiece when it's already main set HP or HP percent. Let's see. I've already gone over her feather, so no need to go over that again. And then her flower is here. Her flower scored really well. Lots of ER, lots of HP percent. So yeah, her flower is very good. Basically a perfect off piece for her. Maybe the crit damage roll could have gone to like ER, or at least more HP percent instead, but whatever, I'll take it. And then finally, her healing bonus. Her healing bonus has EM, a little bit HP, and a lot of attack percent. So yeah, I'll probably change her circlet to a better healing damage bonus, or healing damage bonus. Yeah, what the fuck is that? Healing bonus percent with more HP, and preferably ER here somewhere here too, so that her rotations are easier. Again, C6. I C6 Kokomi day one. I didn't give a fuck what the community had to say back in the day. C6 Kokomi day one. I will let you know that any day of the week. And of course, triple crown. You kind of expect that, given how fiercely I'm defending Kokomi. I'm starting to sound like your average Chinese gacha game player with how intense I am for my simping for this character. But yeah, triple crown and all that. Good old Kokomi. And of course, naturally, this goes without saying, I still use Kokomi to this day, quite frequently. Anyways, here's Ayato, as he drinks his bubble tea. 73, 74 CR, 200 CD, 202.7 CD with a 42% energy recharge. I'm actually pretty proud of my Ayato build, because again, he's got that nice looking 7200 CR CD crit stat line. And he's got a lot of energy recharge too, which I think he wants because his ultimate is 80 cost, yeah. So thanks to all that ER, my Ayato's ult rotations are actually quite nice. Like I never feel like I'm like trying to reach for Ayato's ultimate ever. So that's quite nice to have on our boy Ayato. He's got a copy of his sword, the Haran Geppaku Futsu, and he's running 4-piece Heart of Depth. Strangely on my Ayato, even though he scales with attack percent, or not attack percent, HP, I believe his ultimate is the only one. It's either his ultimate or his skill. I forget which. Probably his skill, actually, now that I think about it. It's only his skill, and one specific part of his skill that actually scales with HP. And so I was like looking at it at the time when I was building Ayato. I was looking at it. I'm like, huh, I might as well just run attack percent timepiece here for Ayato, because that means that it buffs everything about his kit, not just his skill. And I'm the type of person who likes building his characters to be more generalist, right? Run more general builds, like jack of all trades builds, so that way I can, you know, use any character on any team anytime I want, right? I don't want my characters to be locked into specific teams where as soon as you pull them out of it, right, they just kind of start falling apart and they can't do their job because you've tailored them so, you know, specifically for these one or two teams that you usually run them on. I prefer having like a general sense of freedom with my characters in terms of like how I want to play them and who I want to play them with. So, yeah, that should explain why my Ayato has an attack percent timepiece and not an HP percent. Though I could be misunderstanding something about the character, and maybe his optimal timepiece is HP percent after all, after you do all the calculations. So I'm open to ideas. I just have attack percent timepiece on my Ayato for the time being. But yeah, his timepiece is okay. His off-piece cup is also okay too. Nothing too special, I don't think. I'm just glad it has double crit. His feather's actually not. It's not like amazing, but it does give him a huge chunk of his ER, so that's why I still run it on him. So I'll use it for the time being. His flower is also not that great either. It's missing crit rate, obviously, but again, it's good enough for him. And then finally, his circlet. Circlet is obviously not good either. It's not great. I think it rolled like twice into crit rate, but even then, it's like min rolls, so it's like yeah. But whatever. Again, like I don't care much for Ayato. Obviously, I like his sister a lot more because waifu. He's cool though. It's just that I haven't put in a whole ton of investment into him. But even still, even without having to put in too much into him, like his crit stats still look pretty good. And so he gets everything that he gets everything done that I use him for. So I can't really complain. Nilou, again, my beloved. Alright, so, this is gonna look a little weird because she actually has crit stats because her C6 actually gives her more crit stats, which is fucking hilarious. Especially considering, you know, she's supposed to be a super bloom support. So it's like, eh. I mean, usually I use Nahida with, Nahida with Nilou anyway, so, you know, her bloom pods should still crit, but I'm not sure if she's causing it crits, probably, right? Because the bloom EM or the bloom damage scale is off of whoever's triggering bloom, so I would imagine it's Nilou, especially if you do her her 4E combo and she puts that hydro field around you. So, but yeah, I did initially build her for crits anyway because, you know, thanks to her C6. She does have a copy of Qiqi, as you might have seen the first half of the Genshin's Whales log. And she's running 2-piece Melt and 2-piece Wanderers. Definitely a very starter set, but I've literally never had a reason to change it, so yeah, it stayed the same. She's C6, obviously. And Triple Crowned. Funnily enough, I actually don't use Nilou as often as I'd like, given how much I like her to begin with. I mean, I Triple Crowned her. She's obviously one of my Genshin waifus, one of my many Genshin waifus. But yeah, I do pull her out every now and then for to run, you know, Nahida Super Bloom teams, which are hilarious to run. But yeah, no, I don't do it too often though. Not too often. I would like to use her more though, that's for sure. And I guess technically our artifact set could be better. Technically speaking, I think that Gilded the Gilded artifact set is actually probably her best in slot, I would imagine. So yeah, maybe one day I'll go back and drag my balls across the shattered glass floor known as the Gilded domain, but we'll have to see. In any case, that's Nilou. Moving on to Mr. Neuvillette. His stat lines are actually pretty damn good, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, his weapon is carrying my Neuvillette stats pretty hard here because 88% crit damage. Like at that point, why wouldn't his crit damage stat look pretty good? But in any case, he's got 58% CR, 250 CD, and 18% ER. And again, he's getting a lot of his crit damage from his catalyst, naturally. And he's on the Hunter set, so him only having, what, 57 CR is not a problem, because, again, Hunter set. So it should go up to... Hunter set gives you, what, like, 36% CR? So he should go up to, like, 93 CR? Something like that? 93, 94? So he should be critting most of the time. With his, you know, Hydro Cannon. Or whatever that move is called from Pokemon. Hydro Pump, Hydro Cannon, I don't fucking know. Yeah, he is on 4-piece Hunter set. I actually take a look at his stats. This cup used to be my old Tartaglia's cup that I've kept around. And so now my Neuvillette has it. His timepiece is... that one's pretty bad. His feather's actually pretty good. Yeah, double crit with the ER. Yeah, that one's actually not bad. Flower also not bad too. It's a double crit. Has some HP percent. And then, oh yeah, his fucking circlet. Yeah, this was a flat HP roll. At least one roll went into crit damage, but it would have been nice if it went more into it. I mean, hey, at least give the rolls the fucking HP percent, not fucking flat HP. Holy fuck, man. But even despite having a pretty bad circlet and a tablet, I almost said tablet, timepiece, yeah, his stats actually still look pretty decent. Of course, they could be a lot better, because I'm sure with Neuvillette specifically, especially with his, you know, gacha catalyst, his signature, he could probably easily get to, not easily, but it's probably possible to get him to, like, you know, 300% crit damage or something. I wouldn't be surprised. So, yeah. I actually don't use Mr. Neuvillette all that much. Even though I've recently got his talents to 999, I actually haven't really used him for anything. And people have been going on about how strong he is and how he basically just easy modes the game by himself or some shit like that. I just haven't used him much. Because, you know, not a waifu, so maybe I should take him out for a spin in Abyss somewhere. See how well he does. See his true power for myself or whatever the fuck. But he is there. He is there. Furina, everyone's favorite Furina. Everybody loves Furina, right? 78% CR, 225 CD, 132 ER. People keep saying that she needs like a really high ER. Like, I don't know, man. My Furina only has 32% ER, and she's doing just fine. I've never had a problem with her not having her ult whenever I need it. So, Maybe it's because the teams that I run her on are usually pretty good on ER anyway, so that, you know, that helps out, I'm sure. But yeah, I think your Furina shouldn't really have any more than 30% ER, personally. And just once she gets to 30% ER, just focus on her crit stats from there on. Yeah. So I like my Furina's stats here. Obviously, they're not the best compared to a lot of other Furinas out there. But yeah, for the time being, I like where this is at. Maybe in the future, I'll since I do want to, I think I mentioned in the last video, I do want to grind some more golden trope sets, because I believe my Furina should be on a golden trope set herself too. Yeah, because she's all about her skill damage. Because I do want to go farm some more golden tropes pieces for official to try to overhaul her artifact set at some point in the future. I'll try to see if I can get some better pieces for Furina too, because I'm sure I can improve her pieces too. I believe the gameplay meta or the stat meta for Furina, that is, for Cup specifically, is that because my Furina is only C0, as you can see here, she actually wants to run HP Cup, but as soon as she gets her C1 or C2 or something, like so either one of these two, one of her low level constellations, she immediately switches her Cup to Hydro damage bonus instead. So you guys can confirm that for me in the comments or something, I don't know. But yeah, I'm running HP percent Cup on my Furina, and yeah, it's not bad. I mean, it's double crit. Rolled some into HP percent, flat HP, which I suppose could be worse. Could have gone to flat attack instead, but going to the crit rate, actually Furina has more than enough crit rate, actually, now that I think about it. So if it wanted more, if these two flat HP rolls went to like crit damage or something, that would have been a lot better. She has my best off-piece HP percent timepiece. This is easily 40 CV, and it's giving her quite a bit of energy recharge. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I either high rolled or max rolled my crit damage stats on this artifact, considering the fact that it rolled at least once in energy recharge. I'm pretty sure this is a 4-line start. Yeah, probably. What, 2-2-1? Yeah, makes sense. So, and it's even got flat HP. Like, this piece is literally perfect for my Furina. Gives her ER, gives her double crit. Like, I can't be happier with this. And yeah, to think that I just had this timepiece just like lying around, and by the time when Furina showed up, I was like, oh shit, finally somebody who can use this. And I was more than happy to give this shit to her. So, yep, Furina has my best HP percent timepiece, at least. I'm pretty sure it's my best one. One of my best ones, at least. This is her feather. This one's okay. Again, it is giving her a lot of crit damage, and I think my Furina could do with a lot more crit damage. Like, let's say like 230, 240%, maybe even 250% if I'm lucky, but we'll see. But it did roll like once in the attack percent, no crit stat or no crit rate stat. At least she got 1 into what, HP percent, and again some more energy recharge. So that's nice. So it's okay. It's decent, but obviously could be better. Her flower is... This would have been a lot... I would be a lot more happy with this if the defense percent roll went into crit damage instead, like, obviously. But, yeah, that would have been nice. So that way, my Furina would have, like, 230 plus crit damage or something close to it. And again, at least it rolled a little bit of a HP percent, too. So, can't be too mad about that, but I feel like I can do better with this. Hopefully, anyway. And then lastly, her crit rate circlet. Again, this circlet actually reminds me a lot of my Neuvillette circlet, where most of the rolls went to like just garbage. I'm pretty sure this is like what, a 1-2-2 roll here, probably a 3-line start. Yeah, 2 rolls went into attack percent when it should have gone into crit damage or ER at the very least. So yeah, hopefully I can change this. Hopefully I can find a better circlet out there with at least, you know, ER crit damage. Maybe even HP percent if I'm getting greedy here, but that's what she's working with. Again, C0. But I did triple crown her because I like Furina that much. So, yeah, she's cute. Traveler. Well, let me tell you about my Traveler. So, she is a 5-star, so I do have to talk about her. Alright. These are my Traveler stats. 84, 214. I actually have invested in my Traveler. It will take me a while, or this is going to take me a while, but I can show you that when I say I've invested in my Traveler, I actually do mean it. Because not only does she have a crit stat line and ER stat that looks like this, or just a general stat line that looks like this, but I do have her with her own Jade Cutter. Quite nice. She has no set. She's the only character on my account who does not have a proper artifact set. The reason why is because my logic here, I mean, I already explained my logic, right? My thing about Genshin is that I want to be able to use my characters in any situation with any team at any time. And so with my Traveler, because Traveler can change between between elements, right? That was definitely the main sort of school of thought when it came to building my Traveler. And so I decided, you know what, I'm not even going to bother with like an actual artifact set for her. I'm just going to give her 5 off pieces and say, fuck it, here you go, right? Not even like a 2-piece artifact set, because, you know, maybe one of the elements will have her scale with, like, for example, HP or something like that instead of the usual attack. Who knows? That being said, because Dendro Traveler is by far the strongest Traveler, like by a country mile, yeah, like ideally I should, you know, more customize her artifact set, Traveler's artifact set, so that, you know, it helps her become a better Dendro support at least. But nah, I'm gonna stick her with this. Like I've legit ran my Traveler just like this as a Dendro character, and her team was still able to kick plenty of ass with it. So that in Genshin is the kind of game where, like, as long as your off pieces, like as long as your pieces individually are like super fucking cracked out, or like at least they're good enough, like you don't even need artifact sets, and they can still do pretty fine. Right? Ideally, you want to have both really good stats and the proper artifact sets working together. But if you can only take one or the other, then the 5 really cracked out off pieces are kind of the way to go. So yeah, whereas we should probably start with her cup first. This is her cup, attack percent, because again, generalist set with double crit. It's okay, could be better, but I mean, fine for now. Her attack percent timepiece, again, double crit with a little bit of ER. Her feather's quite nice. This is definitely 40 CV. like 3-4 rolls into crit damage. Probably like 3, maybe 4, with a little bit of ER, a little bit of crit damage. Here's one of the gladiator not timepieces, flowers that I talked about earlier. How I got a lot of potentially really good flowers that I decided to level up, just to see how they would, you know, level up, or how they would distribute the subset rolls. This one's very nice. This is like 45 CD almost. Yeah, it's basically 45 CV, which is insane. And so yeah, she has this flower here, and yeah, she's got this circlet as well. Not the greatest circlet, but it does give her a lot of energy recharge. So, and it at least has 1 roll into crit rate, so it's not bad. Again, the flat defense could have gone to crit rate, but to make it even better. But I'm not really complaining here. So yeah, that's how my Traveler has 84-214 CRCD. And again, thanks to the fact that she's running Jade Cutter with 44% crit rate at level frickin' 90. So that's pretty crazy. But yeah, as you can see here, obviously it's C6. You get Traveler C6 constellations from doing story and whatnot. And then she's at 9-12-12. What I would do, I mean, hell, this video is going to be very long anyway. I mean, so I've already been yapping for 50 minutes already. So what I'm going to do here is just to show you like how serious I am about investing to every character in the game. What I'm going to do is I should probably catch those crystal flies, but whatever. I'll go crystal fly farming later. But I am about to blow your minds and pull up Traveler here. And I will convert her over to Animo. Right? So I already show you my Dendro Traveler's talents. Now that she's Animo, and I pull up her talents again. Hey, would you look at that? She's 9-12-12 too. And she's also C6. I mean, of course. But 9-12-12 talents. For those of you guys who don't really understand the significance of this, like, okay, so, like, well, what's the deal with this? In Genshin Impact, when you try leveling your Traveler, each element needs to be leveled up individually. Traveler's character level, like her normal-ass character level over here, where my cursor is, stays the same, right? Once you level her up, or level them up, him up if you're playing Ether, once you're leveling them up, they stay at level 90. It doesn't change when you switch elements in different regions. However, obviously you gotta farm their constellations from story, but their talents their talents reset, because each element that Traveler can change to has their own talent leveling pipeline. So you have to individually level up the talents for each of Traveler's elements, basically. And so yeah, like I have Animo Traveler at 9-12-12. And so if you go over to Liyue here, over here, and I resonate her with Geo. Probably should have started with here because I was already here to begin with, but whatever. Resonate with Geo. I pull up Geo Traveler, as you can see here. Check her talents. They're also at 9-12-12. And then lastly, if we go over to Fontaine, switch her over to Hydro, you notice that I am also working on Hydro Traveler. Admittedly, I haven't been able to work on Hydro Traveler because, again, all of my weekly mats were going towards, well, actually, Hydro Traveler doesn't need the weekly whale weekly boss materials, actually. So I can't use Navia and Furina as an excuse here. Let's see. Yeah, you can tell I'm working on them. They're not perfect yet. They're not at 9-12-12 like all the other elements were, but they're at 7-7-7. But yeah. Actually, Navia does need equity books, so I could use that as an excuse at least. But her talents need the last Sumeru weekly boss, as you can see here, and I believe I was working on some of the other Fontaine characters who also required ferns. I forget who exactly. Maybe it was Lyney. I forget. No, not Lyney. It has to be somebody else. Probably one of the 4 stars, maybe. Maybe like Lynette. No, not Lynette. She just needs the amber stuff. Fremine, maybe? Yeah, Fremine. So, obviously, I was working on Fremine's skills first, or talents first, so... Yeah, unfortunately, because of him and... I think somebody else? I forget what Wriothesley needed. No, he just needs the same stuff as Lyney. What about, Neuvillette? I think Neuvillette needed the ambers, yeah, so... who was it? Lynette used the ambers up. So as far as the ferns, when it was just Fremine and then Traveler herself. So yeah, I am still working on Hydro Traveler's talents rather. I do need to go and farm some more equity books at some point. But yeah, there you go. I am working on my Hydro Traveler. Not sure if I'm ever going to use her though, but because obviously Dendro is just the strongest element that she can be at the moment. But regardless, I'm still leveling her talents. I'll keep you up to date on if I make any headway on leveling up her talents. Technically, I could level it up soon because I do have an extra fern material here. So probably get around to that at some point. Eventually. Moving on to, who is this? Tighnari. Now going into the Dendro 5-star characters here. Tighnari, alright, so he's got 80% CR, 193.8 CD. Very good stats, actually, with only 15% ER, but honestly, he doesn't need that much ER. With the Hunter's Path, the really good bow that Mihoyo will probably never rerun again, because, you know, Omega lol. And so, yeah. And he's got 4-piece Wanderer's Trope. I'm actually really happy with Tighnari's build. He's very strong, but the fact that his crit damage isn't at 200, it kind of bothers me. Like, I've tried a lot to try to get his crit damage up to 200%. I would actually be fine with his crit rate going down to 75%. So it's kind of like the Yoimiya problem that I have, or the problem that I have with Yoimiya, where I want to raise their crit damage a little bit higher, even at the expense of a little bit of crit rate. Because I just personally think that would look a lot better. But yeah, I'm still working on that. Obviously, farming the Wanderer's Trope pieces can be a little bit annoying, but you know, now that I can just strongbox for it at some point, you know, that shouldn't be too hard at least. Part of the reason why I haven't really been strongboxing Wanderer's Trope is because I know I'm gonna get, you know, both Gladiator and Wanderer's Trope pieces from like all my weekly boss clears and all the elite boss clears I'm doing anyway. Whenever new characters come out, and we gotta farm more elite boss materials for them. So yeah, there hasn't been as much pressure to give Tighnari, you know, a better artifact somewhere, so that way I can finally say he's got, you know, 200% crit damage or something like that. I mean, he's already super fucking strong as it is anyway, because I usually run him in aggravate teams. My favorite aggravate team right now is Miko, Tighnari, Nahida, and Qiqi. So there you go. Individually, these are what his pieces look like. Decent Dendro Cup. Honestly, this is probably my best Dendro Cup, just because Dendro Cups are fucking annoying as hell to try to pick up or try to get. I mean, just cups in general are a massive fucking pain in the ass to farm for, I'm sure. Well, I'm sure you guys already know that. His timepiece is really fucking good. Honestly, his timepiece is almost a mirror copy of my Furina's HP percent timepiece. Just, you know, change their main stat from HP percent to EM. And so, yeah, again, another 40 CV timepiece. Easily my best EM timepiece on my account. Very proud of that one. Here's his feather. His feather's pretty good, but could be better. I mean, if the 2 rolls and the HP percent went into crit damage instead, that would have been fucking fantastic. Even just one of them. If one of the stats went into crit damage, then I wouldn't be bitching about how I'm trying to give my Tighnari, you know, 200% crit damage. But yeah, this is the feather that I've been trying to change. And again, no surprise, I've tried to level up multiple feathers that I thought had potential, but all of them kind of came up short, unfortunately. I mean, this one's pretty good actually, but yeah, this feather is actually technically 40 CV. Yeah, 20. Actually, no, not quite. It's almost there, but not quite. It's like 25.6 or something like that. 25.6. So yeah, it's barely not 40 CV. Maybe if the crit rate got like a higher roll somewhere or something like that, maybe it would be. But yeah, I still think that his feather's probably the most likely one that I will change, and even then that's gonna be very hard because I can't change his timepiece. His timepiece is like basically perfect. I can't easily change his Dendro Cup because, again, Dendro Cup. When's the last time you got a fucking Dendro Cup with double crit stats, right? His flower, I don't know if I can change, because this shit is fucking 40 CV. And yeah, I tried leveling flowers for him too, but most of them just turned out to be ass. This one's the only other decent one that I actually managed to roll, but even then, this one's not perfect. I mean, it's not even 40 CV either, like 34 something. So yeah, I can't change his flower. Again, not easily. And then technically, I could change his circle. His circle is obviously by far his weakest one because it doesn't even have crit rate. But honestly, I don't even care that this circlet doesn't have crit rate because, again, he's already running Hunter's Path. A lot of his other artifacts already rolled a shit ton of crit rate. If I can find Tighnari again, wherever he is. There he is. Yeah, because he's already getting some here, 3.9 there, 10.5 there, another 7 there, another 10% here, right? And Hunter's Path is already giving him a 44% crit rate. And I believe his Ascension stat is probably crit rate too or something like that. I don't know. Probably. If it's not, then I apologize. But, you know. Point is that my Tighnari is getting a shit ton of crit rate stats. And so my Circlet not having any is actually not that big of a deal. Which is really funny to think about. So yeah, I tried going for just more utility support substats anyway. Like ER, attack percent, EM especially. Obviously, EM is kind of the gold standard here, but unfortunately, the shit rolled twice into flat HP, so fuck me. So, he is C6, despite him being a perma character. I only rolled for one copy of him initially, back when Isumete first came out. But yeah, I just got spooked so much that he became C6 which is naturally. So that was kind of funny. And naturally, he's at 9, 12, 12. Tighnari is probably the one dude character that I use the most as a DPS, other than, like, you know, Bennett, of course, because, you know, it's Bennett. So, yeah. Him and Zhongli are probably the two male characters that I use the most, I think. Yeah, I think that's safe to say. So, yeah. Really appreciate Tighnari. He's a beast. Nahida! Everyone's favorite Nahida as well. So, yeah, obviously nothing to see here in terms of crit stats. I mean, she does have good energy recharge, but that's kind of to be expected because I don't really care to focus on crits on Nahida. I've built my Nahida as standard, no crits, just focus on EM and Dendra, resist, debuff, support, and whatever. She does have her own catalyst, the 1,000 Floating Dreams catalyst, and then of course 4-piece deep wood, just like my Klee. So yeah, again, nothing really to see here. I didn't really try to go for crit stats at all. Right, inset. EM cup with a little bit of ER. HP's nice, I guess. EM timepiece, a little bit of attack, a little bit of HP, ER as well. Feather, same deal, just with more defense, I guess. And obviously a good stack of EM there. Because yeah, now with her feather, she can get EM as a what is it? A substat. Her flower, unfortunately, yeah, it does have EM, but it didn't roll terribly high into it. It rolled everything to ER and attack percent for some reason. So I guess I don't mind, but the attack percent rolls would have been better if it went to like EM though, because yeah, my Nahida's EM. Actually, my Nahida's EM is actually perfect. Yeah, I don't need to fudge my Nahida's EM because I believe her passive it basically says, oh, you want to give your Nahida like what 1,000 EM tops for her to max out the efficacy of that bonus or the efficiency of that bonus. So yeah, actually my Nahida doesn't need any more EM now that I think about it. Where were we? The feather? Oh no, sorry, flower. Yeah, so the flower gives her a little bit of ER, and then finally her circlet EM main stat. Lots of rolls to ER actually. I think it's what 2, 2, 3, something like that, or 1, 2, 2. Yeah. So yeah, and C2. Because her C2 is her critical low constellation level. I'm thinking maybe I did initially how should I say this? I did initially plan to give Nahida a more a more DPS oriented set. Some of my Dendro, some of my Deepwood pieces, sorry. Yeah, we're kind of like that. Oops, accidentally tabbed out of my game here. If I can look it up here, because yeah, I did have some Dendro pieces that were very, very high crit stats. I think, yeah, originally my Traveler, the Traveler that my Feather has right now, originally I had rolled this for my Nahida specifically, or for when Nahida would come out. But considering Nahida, I realized Nahida, you know, it's not really worth it for me to build her as a crit DPS, because she's only C2. Yeah, and it was just a lot easier to just build her as a full EM support. Yeah, I just gave the Feather that I intended for Nahida just to my Traveler instead, because, you know, stat sticks and all that. So, just as a quick example of my original intentions with Nahida. And then, yeah. Here's the the flower that I initially planned on giving to her. But this is a 2-1, like a 2-1-2 roll or something like that. I don't know. Maybe some trivia about my Nahida. Yeah, other than that, pretty simple. 999. I've decided against crowning my my Nahida again because I reserve my crowns for waifus and such. I mean, I like Nahida; she's cute and all, but I don't feel the need to triple crown her. So she's good enough. Alhaitham, here she is. Here he is. So very proud of my Alhaitham build actually. I like Alhaitham quite a bit. 71 CR, 200%, 211 CD actually, and 30%, 36.9, 37 ER. Yeah, I'm very proud of my Alhaitham build actually. Though I think he can be better because, yeah, Light of Foliar Incision gives you 88% crit damage. Same thing as Furina's Splendor. Yeah, they're buddies in that department, I guess. But yeah, because Alhaitham does have access to Light of Foliar. Again, 88% crit damage is a hell of a drug. Yeah, I do think his stats could technically be better, but for how often I use him and how much investment that I put into him, yeah, 71 to 11 is actually perfectly okay in my books. So yeah, he's got R1, Light of Foliar, and then these are his pieces, gilded obviously. His cup looks like this. I believe. I actually know the Dendro cup that my my Tighnari has, that wasn't the best Dendro cup that I have on my account. This is like, holy shit, this is such a good Dendro piece. Like, ideally I wanted his the last energy recharge roll to go into crit damage. I remember rolling this, yeah, because the first 4 went all into double crits, and the last one rolled fucking energy recharge. I was like, shit. But, like, because the crit stats already rolled so good to begin with, yeah. I was like, I can't really be too mad about this, right? I believe this is a 3-line start, too. I believe the roll distribution was, what, like, 1-2-2? Yeah, that sounds about right. So. But, yeah. Could have been better, but, like, honestly, like, what is there to complain about, really? So, yeah. By far my best Dendro cup, and it's on our boy, Alhaitham. Here's his timepiece. Timepiece could be better naturally, because only 1 roll into crit damage. Does give him quite a bit of energy recharge, and a little bit of attack percent, so I guess I shouldn't be too mad about that, but yeah, his timepiece could definitely be better. For sure. His feather is really good. I believe this is also 40 CV, yeah, because 21, 19, yeah, that's 40 CV. And with a little bit of a EM as well. Again, the defense percent roll could have gone to EM to make it a little better. Well, even to another crit stat. That would have been nice too. But that's still 40 CV, so I'm pretty happy with that. His flower, again, his flower, just like its timepiece, could be better too. At least it's got giving him double-digit crit stats, but again, could be better. Oh, it also rolled mostly into attack percent too. Again, could be better. And then lastly, his circle. I believe this is my best gilded circlet. Best crit rate main stat gilded circlet. So ER, HP, a little bit of attack percent, and then mainly into crit damage. This is either a 3 or 4 roll. I forget if this started out as a 3 or 4 line start. Probably a 3-line start, and then it rolled, what, like 3 times into crit damage or something. Actually, is it even possible for you to get 26.4% CD off of just 3 rolls? Because if you max rolled, what, crit damage with 7.8 3 times, how much would you get out of that? Actually, not even. This had to be a 4-line start. Yeah, because 3.8 times or 7.8 times 3 is only like 23 point something, like 23.4, I think, if I'm doing my math right. So yeah, that's not possible. So this had to be a 4-line start. 4-line start, and then it probably like min or like low rolled crit damage 3 times or something. I don't know. Actually, no, that doesn't make sense either. Because yeah, the attack percent only rolled once. If it's a 4-line start, then it will have to be 1-4. Man, if that's the case, then shit, man. I must have gotten super unlucky on crit damage rolls there. But whatever. Still my best one. However it rolled. However it turned out. But yeah, anyways. So yeah, that's my Alhaitham. I use Alhaitham from every now and then. Use him for aggravate teams mainly. But yeah. He's quite a bit of fun to play. Baizhu. I know this is Yuzu's favorite character. Yuzu the VTuber. Ignore his stats. I don't really use him for crit damage or crit rate or something. He's got quite a bit, but it's either from his Ascension stat or, you know, the random stats that his artifacts ended up rolling. Decent chunk of energy recharge, but he needs that because I believe he's a support. He's got a copy of J-Fall Splendor, naturally. And he's got 4-piece Tenacity. I actually do not know what his preferred artifact set even is. I just went out on a limb and said, you'll probably want Tenacity, and so I gave it to him. I don't even know if that's what he even wants. Maybe he wants something better. Maybe he wants something something different, like, I don't know, 4-piece Noblesse or something. I don't know. It's only C0 because, again, I didn't really care for Baizhu. So, I didn't really roll much. He is still at talent levels 999. Not much to say about Baizhu. I have used him here and there, but I don't really use him. Yeah. I don't care much for him one way or another, but he's still here, so. Keqing! I should probably change her over to her outfit now that's Chinese New Year. But yeah, these are her stats right now. Her stats used to be better. I think she had like... Actually, no, she doesn't need better stats, yeah. Because I believe one of her passives literally gives her 15% crit rate. Yeah, right here. After she casts her ult, she increases her crit rate and ER by 15% each for 8 seconds. So yeah, the fact that my Keqing doesn't have a better crit rate stat than this is actually, that's fine. Because after she ult, she hits, what, 70 CR and 253 CD. So actually, that's perfectly fine. And she has a little bit of ER too, so she'll get, what, 30% ER after she ults. So, honestly, now that I think about it, like, I don't need to change shit on my Keqing. She's got Mist Splitter, naturally. And I actually run her a 4-piece Thundering Fury. Because I think Thundering Fury is a better generalist set. And you know my stance on generalist builds and all that. So, ideally, if I want to really go ham with Keqing, because obviously you want to use Keqing with, you know, in aggravate teams at least. Yeah, ideally she should probably run 4-piece Gilded, but like with how good her stats are right now, I don't really feel the need to switch over to 4-piece Gilded anytime soon. Her Thunder Cup, her Electro Cup is decent. It's pretty good. Her Timepiece is really good, actually. I believe this is 40 CV. Is it actually? 13. Yeah, it's 40 CV, barely. Yeah, still 40 CV. Her Feather's pretty good. Her Flower is okay. Actually, this Flower could be better. Yeah. Flower could be better. At least it's giving her a lot of crit damage, though. And then her Circlet, honestly, is actually pretty good. I mean, it doesn't look like it, of course, because, you know, most of the substats there are kind of trash. But, or at least half of them are. But hey, at least it rolled like 3-4 times in the crit damage, so I can't really complain. So there you go. Naturally, she's a C6, being a perma character and all. And she's a triple crowned. So you can tell that my Keqing is one of the favorite characters I have in this game. So yeah. Keqing Justice. Kind of like a less wild, a lesser, how do I say this? Kind of similar to Kokomi, when everyone was like, she sucks, she sucks, she sucks, and then Dendro comes along and, oh my god, she's so good. The duality of man. Anyways, moving on to everyone's favorite, Raiden Shogun. I'm actually very proud of my Raiden Shogun build. This took me a long time to get to, but we're finally here. 75 CR with 154 CD, 264 ER. She's got a copy of her own Engulfing Lightning. Has 4-piece emblem. Do a quick deep dive of her artifacts. Her electro damage bonus cup. I actually still remember rolling this. And yeah, the final roll went to flat defense because why the fuck not? So yeah, it would have been great if all the rolls went to double crit somewhere. Yeah. A matter of fact, this is only a 3. This is only a 3 roll, cause yeah, it rolled once into flat defense and EM, cause 44 EM is indicative of 1 roll. It's not it's not default no rolls or whatever. So, cause it would be half that, like down to like only like what 21, 19 EM or something like that. So, but yeah, her cup is really good. Probably my best, one of my best thundering, one of my best electro cups. I keep wanting to say Thundering Fury, which wouldn't be too off the mark. This is her energy recharge timepiece. For the longest time, I ran my Raiden with this one. This is one of the very first Raiden or energy recharge pieces that I ran on my Raiden back when we first got her and the emblem domain. And I think she had that shit for like 2 years until finally I was able to get a better one. And even then, this is only slightly better than this. Because, you know, oh, 1 more roll in the crit rate. And the exact same freaking crit damage. Maybe a little bit less. But yeah, overall, this shit is still better. So, I made the switch. I highly doubt I'll be able to get another energy recharge with double crit ever again. So, fuck me, I guess. Her feather was actually one of the first emblem pieces that I ever rolled back when Emblem Domain first came out. And to this day, it continues to be one of my best ones, too. Like, I think this is a 113. 4-line start 113. Yeah, it literally has more crit rate than it does crit damage. And, like, it high rolled crit damage, too. It's literally 7.8 and 7% rolls on my crit damage here. And yet my crit rate managed to roll even more off just 3 rolls. I'm pretty sure anyway. Yeah. So yeah, my feather that my Raiden has is absolutely goated. Even gave her a little bit of attack percent too. Would have been even better if it rolled into either one of my crit stats here. Preferably crit damage. Or something like that. This is her off-piece flower. I remember the time back when I was like, okay, I realized, wait a minute, okay, my Raiden has space for an off-piece flower, so let's try to see if I can get a really good flower for her. This one at the time was the best I could do, so I decided to give this one to her. I don't know if this is quite 40 CV, it's probably not. It's close, but not quite, unfortunately. It rolled a little too badly into, it low rolled a little too much into both crit rate, crit damage, so, unfortunate. Maybe since it is just her since it is her off piece, her flower, I could maybe see if I can, you know, maybe give her something better. But I think the idea with her off piece flower is that I want it to have at least some crit rate, but at the same time, like, try to boost her crit damage as much as I possibly can. So yeah, that's the idea with that feather there, or feather flower there. And then finally her circlet. Pretty sure this is my best emblem circlet. That's crit rate main stat. Yeah, because it rolled 27% crit damage. Not the best, but like how much better is it gonna get than this, right? Maybe if the flat defense were like energy recharge instead, I guess. But then again, I have to go look for ER on her flower too, technically so. But yeah, that's my Raiden's build, and of course C6, and then triple crowned because Raiden is hot. I don't know if I'm ever gonna go back and change Raiden's kit. Again, the most I'll do for now in the near future is maybe look for a better off-piece flower, because her off-piece flower could use a little bit of work, or it can be improved a little bit, and because it's a flower, so it should be easier to find an off-piece for that compared to the other artifacts. But again, I don't know. It's gonna take me a while to get around to doing that for her. Miko, again, another character that I really hyper invested on. These are her stats: 70 crit rate, 248 crit damage, 16% energy recharge. Very nice crit stats. Worked pretty hard on these, so I'm pretty proud of how my Miko is built. R1 Kagura is very naturally. and then 4-piece Thundering Fury. Same thing with same logic as with my Keqing build, right? More generalist set. This is more than enough for her anyway, so I don't feel the need personally to ever switch Miko over to 4-piece Gilded, even if that's the more efficient artifact set for her. Going down the list here, double crit electro damage bonus cup. This is okay. I actually would have liked the EM to go into like crit damage at least. Yeah, crit damage, so that way she has what 250% crit damage flat, or actually 250% crit damage, but she scales at EM, I believe, so it's not that bad. I don't mind. This was the best attack percent timepiece that I was able to get for her. I think it rolled like once or twice into flat attack, which fucking blows dick. Would have loved that shit to go into even more crit damage or crit rate or something like that, but this is what she's got to work with. Her feather, gosh, I tried leveling so many feathers for her because at the time that I was really trying to work on my Miko stats, like the last push that I made to do that. I was strong boxing Thundering Fury pieces, and like I was trying everything I could to get like a really good Thundering Fury piece, but like none of them were able to like turn up. So like, and this is I think my original feather that I ran on my Miko, and like I tried switching it around with other feathers and shit like that I was hoping would roll better or whatever, but at the end of the day I just came straight back to this one. Kind of a recurring story with a lot of my characters, don't you think? So, oh, yeah, originally had this piece, and I tried getting rid of it to, you know, give them better pieces, but at the end of the day, I just came back to the original one, and here you go. It's that one meme, you know? Like, and where that all leads you? Right back to me. So, yeah, this is one of those kinds of artifacts. And then lastly, her flower. I'm pretty sure her flower could be better. I mean, look at the crit damage. That shit rolled like ass. But yeah, at least it's double-digit double crit, so I can't really complain. And then finally, her circlet. I explained about her circlet, how it used to be my Lisa's, but this is a quad roll crit rate circlet. I remember rolling this on stream. I just didn't record it, so that the footage is lost forever to time. But yeah, I remember rolling this on stream. Yeah, this is my first like closest attempt to getting a legit penta crit rate substat artifact. It was my first real attempt at it, and unfortunately, shit rolled the fourth one into fucking flat attack. Not even like ER or EM, even flat attack, because you know, Mihoyo said fuck you. So I was like, okay, cool. Okay, I will go fuck myself. But yeah, used to be my Lisa's crown, but now it's my Miko's because I realized that she would probably need it more. But yeah, that's my Miko's build. C6 because Fox Girl, and then triple crown because again Fox Girl. Love my Miko. Cyno, all right, I like Cyno. He's cool to play. He's a lot of fun, and again, surprisingly, I was able to give him a pretty good stat line here. 74.4 CR, almost 75 CR, and 210 CD with 44% recharge. Very good stats, actually. Very, very happy with it. But again, his crit stat at least is getting hard carried by Staff of Scarlet Sands, because this one also gives him freaking 44% crit rate, which is amazing. And naturally, he's on 4-piece Gilded. His cup is EM main stat, because I believe Cyno scales mainly off of EM. So this one's not too good. Like honestly, this is pretty bad actually. The saving grace is that it gives him a huge chunk of ER, and it literally only has one crit rate stat. Matter of fact, I could probably try to look for a better EM cup, because I'm pretty sure at this point it's been a long time since I've last changed up Cyno's build, or last touched it, so like I could try to look for, since this is off piece, I could try to look for a better one that has like double crits maybe. I mean here's one. And he even has attack percent, though he will be losing a lot of ER, though. Like I don't know if I'm gonna be able to look for an EM cup that has double crit ER. That's a little bit too much to ask for, I think. Yeah, that might be a little much. So honestly, I think the best chance that I have with Cyno of giving him a better elemental mastery cup is like maybe this one, 4-line start max crit damage rolls. Like we're off to a good start here. But yeah, and he even has a little bit of attack percent, so we'll see. We'll see if I want to do that or not. Here's his EM gilded timepiece. Double crit again, but again, 2 rolls into flat HP. Damn you, Mihoyo. Here's his feather. Again, not bad. Double crit. Not quite 40 CV though, unfortunately. And then his flower, again, could be better. There's no crit rate here. Only crit damage. Though he's getting a lot of crit damage from that, at least. And then finally, his circlet. Again, circlet isn't great, but again, better than nothing, at least. At least a lot of its stats still make sense, though. It did roll fucking twice into flat attack, which I don't appreciate. But yeah, that's Cyno in a nutshell. I did get Cyno to C2 just because he was cool enough. So, treating our boy right as much as I can. So, and of course he's 999. I do use Cyno a few times in Abyss, but mainly because people ask me to use him. Like one of my Twitch viewers asked me at one point if I could test run a team with Cyno with them, just to see how, so that he could see how the team would work. And I obliged him, so I ran that team for him and played through Abyss back then. And yeah, it was pretty fun. I like Cyno. He's cool. Ayaka, another cryo waifu, or our first cryo waifu, I should say, that we're gonna talk about. So, I have my Ayaka on 4-piece Blizzard Stray, which is why her crit rate is so low, because an extra 55% crit rate, and she's basically hitting for 80%, so, or 80% crit rate. 271 crit damage, could be higher, I think, but it's good enough for me right now. And a decent chunk of ER. It should honestly be higher than this because, as we all know, Ayaka has a very expensive but very powerful ultimate. I'm pretty sure it costs her 90, if I recall correctly. So your Ayaka really wants to have as much ER as you can spare her. Actually, no, it's only 80, but it's very hard for her to get energy particles because her skill is on such a low cooldown. So, yeah, the 10-second cooldown there is kind of killer for her. So, ideally, you want your Ayaka to run really high ER, as high as you can go. Like, I would say minimum 40% if you want to make your Ayaka ult rotations feel as smooth as it can be. But Mist Splitter, naturally. And then 4-piece Cryo, or 4-piece Blizzard. This is her cup. Pretty damn good cup. Shame it rolled once into flat attack. I believe it was cryo damage as well. Yeah, okay. Her timepiece is definitely her weakest one, but at the same time, even though it doesn't have crit rate, it still gives her a lot of ER, so I'm still kind of unwilling to let go of this one. So it still does its job. This feather hilariously rolled 21% defense. So yeah, I mean, it did also roll pretty well into crit damage. And out of all the Blizzard Strayer feathers at the time that I leveled them, yeah, this one ended up having the most amount of crit damage. So even though it felt weird to give this feather to Ayaka with like the double defense percent rolls, I still give it to her anyway, because again, best choice that I had. But yeah, her feather I can definitely change. Try to look for another crit damage ER feather, because again, crit rate is kind of low priority at the moment with her. Oh, going backwards. Here's her flower. Again, her flower could be much better. Just need to look for another crit damage ER flower. And then finally, her circlet. Yeah. Crit damage circlet. This rolled really well into crit rate, actually. And I do want to give her this because at least this way, with all the crit rate stats that she does have, she'll at least be able to give herself like something of a solid floor for like how much crit rate she does have. So that way, the 55% crit rate bonus she's getting from hitting, you know, perma-frozen enemies isn't just by itself, right? She has a little bit of a buffer to work with. So yeah, thanks to that, thanks to all the crit rate stats that her artifacts did roll, turns out to be 25% on its own, and then, you know, add the 55 on there, and you're good to go. 80% crit rate. She is not triple crowned, surprisingly. I have definitely heavily considered triple crowning my Ayaka in the past. I may still triple crown her in the future because I do like her enough. It's just that I don't use her anywhere near as often as much as, like, say, for example, my Ganyu or my Shenhe. So yeah, that's what's been stopping me from triple crowning my Ayaka, because I actually don't really need to use her all that often. Like, if I want to run a cryo character, I'll be running Ganyu or, you know, Ganyu or Shenhe or even Rosaria. Because Ayaka, like, she's not the smoothest to play, mainly because of her very expensive ultimate. Very expensive but powerful ultimate, right? So, with Ayaka, your rotations can get a little scuffed every now and then. Like, it's easy to mess up your rotations with Ayaka and make sure that she always has the energy to ult. So, she's not the most convenient. Nowhere near as convenient to play as, like, say, for example, Ganyu or somebody else. But that's my Ayaka. Here's Qiqi as she stretches. Surprisingly, I actually gave her some crit stats, because I believe she scales off of attack percent as far as her healing is concerned, just like Jean. So I actually do have her with some crit stats, surprisingly enough. And with 182 ER, because I believe she has, yeah, R5 sack sword, because her skill takes so goddamn long to get off cooldown. Isn't it like literally 20 seconds? Yeah, 30 seconds. Yeah, fuck that. So yeah, I'm running Qiqi's ass with R5 sack sword. Actually, now that I said it that way, that sounds kind of weird. Please don't call the police on me. I did not mean it that way. She does have two-piece Maiden's Beloved and two-piece Shimonao. Honestly, I might consider changing the Maiden's Beloved pieces over to, like, for example, Gladiator pieces instead. I'm going to see if I can try to do that. Obviously, very low priority because I don't even use Qiqi. I don't know anybody who does. But yeah, she is naturally C6. Like, does it surprise you? But she's also at 9, 12, 12. But yeah, there's Qiqi for you. Ganyu, one of my favorite waifus in the game, second only behind Mona. So, a little bit of crit rate here, 20%, because again, I run her mainly on perma-freeze teams, or yeah, super freeze teams. So yeah, the extra 55% should get it up to, what, 75%? And almost 300% crit damage. It'd be lovely if I could somehow get her ass to, what is it, 300% crit damage. Though I will explain my future plans with Ganyu in a little bit here. She also has 138% energy recharge. She does not need this much energy recharge. It's so easy for her to get her ultimate. Like, she only needs, like, what, like 20% ER max? Maybe 25%, but she doesn't need, like, almost 40%. That's almost overkill at that point. She does have a copy of Aqua Simulacra. I will talk about this later, and for some of you guys, this might be a strange choice. And again, allow me to explain once I go over all of Ganyu's stuff first, and my future plans with her. But for the time being, she does have a copy of Aqua Simulacra. Here's her artifact set, 4-piece Blizzard Strayer, because again, I run her in permafreeze. Here's her cup. Her cup is actually really, really good because, again, a fat stack of ER, but to be fair, she probably doesn't need this much ER. I will try to look for a better cup in the future that has, that is both cryo damage bonus and has mainly crit damage and maybe 1 ER. Like 1 or 2 rolls in the ER is fine, but I think this rolled like, I don't know, fucking 3 or 4 times? Probably 3 times. Yeah, probably 3 times. I think this was a 3-2 roll. Yeah. Something like that. So, ideally, I want it to be the other way around, where it's like, oh, 2 rolls in energy recharge, and 3 rolls in the crit damage, or even better, 1 roll into energy recharge, and then 4 rolls in the crit damage. But again, I'll have to see if I can get a better one. Probably not, especially because this shit is inset as well. This is her timepiece. Again, not the greatest, but again, I tried like crit damage maxing basically on Ganyu, because again, she doesn't need crit rate. Her feather's pretty good. ER, attack percent, lots of crit damage. Like two rolls in crit damage, something like that, which is pretty good. For flower, 2-piece or double crit basically. Not quite 40 CV, but it still gives her quite a bit of crit damage. A little bit of ER as well, so at least none of it went into defense percent at the very least, so that's nice. Too bad the crit rate stats both fucking min rolled though. If they had max rolled, for example, we would have definitely been in 40 CV territory, but we're not there, so fuck me. And then finally, her circlet. Her circlet is actually, her circlet is the reason why her stats, my Ganyu stats look the way they do. Because instead of running her with a standard crit rate or crit damage main stat, instead I'm running her with attack percent instead. Attack percent main stat circlet. So that's pretty wild. I think she's one of the only characters that I actually do this for, where I run her with a main stat circlet that's not either crit rate or crit damage. So that's pretty funny. I believe this is a 40 CV artifact technically, because yeah, 19.4, yeah, 19.4 plus 19 plus 21, 40. So yeah, that's fucking hilarious. Like 41, 42 CV or something like that. So funny. And it rolled once into flat attack as well, so had one roll to spare, still 40 CV. Hilarious. And of course my Ganyu is C6. I actually didn't C6 my Ganyu immediately. I think it took me like 2 banners, I'm pretty sure. Because I went for C4 Ganyu first, and then on her first banner, and I finished her off with her rerun banner, her first rerun banner. So it was quite a journey. And of course she's triple crowned. What did you expect? I love my Coco Goat. Anyways, so my future plans with Ganyu. Actually, this is more of a recent development. So recently, in a recent stream that I did, I think just the other day, I think earlier this week or last week or so, I had this dude come into my stream and ask me, hey, I noticed you were running Aqua on your Ganyu, because he was watching me play with Ganyu in either Abyss or somewhere. And it was like, oh, I noticed you running Aqua. Like, why are you running Aqua? I was like, huh, like I always knew that running Aqua on Ganyu was kind of questionable, because again, Ganyu scales off of attack, but the thing about Aqua Simulacra is because it gives you so much crit damage, the trade-off is that its base attack is not very high. This is fine for, like, for example, Yelan, because, you know, this is Yelan's signature, it's supposed to be. But it doesn't matter for Yelan, because Yelan doesn't scale off of attack at all, right? It's just her HP. So her having a very low base attack weapon doesn't really matter. She cares more about the stat that the stat stick that it, or yeah, the stat stick that it gives her. And so yeah, the 88% crit damage is perfect for her. But not so much for Ganyu, because again, Ganyu scales off of regular attack, or at least she should. So yeah, I was always very conscious of this interaction, which is part of the reason why I'm actually running attack percent circlet for her, in order to boost that, you know, in order to help boost that. That being said, now going back to the whole, like, the Twitch viewer, or I don't know where he talked to me, probably from Twitch, yeah. The Twitch viewer asked me, hey, like, you know, why are you running Aqua on Ganyu? And so I asked him, like, oh, what do you, like, what's the preferred weapon then for Ganyu? Because I was like, oh, I run my Ganyu as Freeze Ganyu, and, you know, yada yada yada. And it was like, oh no, you want to use Polar Star instead. Polar Star, that Tartaglia's signature. I was like, huh, okay. Like, I always knew it was an option, but I never really looked into it very deeply. So I did. I read through its passive ability here, and I thought about it. I was like, no, wait a minute, you're right. She might actually want to use Polar Star here. And so now, even though Tartaglia's had God knows how many reruns, now I actually want a Tartaglia rerun again. Because now I want to roll for a copy of Polar Star for my Ganyu. I'm hoping he does get a rerun soon. I mean, Tartaglia did have a, you know, a place in the story. Actually, now that I think about it, didn't Tartaglia already have a rerun back with, like, Neuvillette or somebody? So it might be a while. I might be waiting for a while, yeah, before we get another raid up for Tartaglia and therefore Polar Star. But I mean, Tartaglia's always been popular, so I'm sure he'll get another one at some point. So I'll just have to be patient and wait for that, I guess. I mean, I could always just take Tartaglia's Polar Star and give him something else to play with for the time being, but I don't really like cannibalizing weapons or gear from other characters on my Genshin account, because I can afford not to do that. So yeah, I think for the time being, I will wait for another Polar Star raid up and then roll for a copy just to get to my Ganyu. So that way, the way I play Ganyu is actually a lot more effective. I mean, it's not that it's not effective already. I mean, shit, man, my Ganyu is already so cracked out already that it doesn't matter if she's using Aqua Simulacra. Like, she's perfectly fine as is. Like she is more than cracked enough to fucking smother Abyss with her thick ass thighs, if you can even call these thighs thick. They're pretty good. Probably not like thick, but they're good enough for me. And so, yeah. But yeah, those are kind of my plans with Ganyu. I still wanted to be on 4-piece Blizzard. However, when I do switch her over to her own copy of Polar Star, because Polar Star is crit rate main stat, that means that I can just, like, afford to just say fuck crit stats just to begin with, like, entirely. I mean, I'm already doing that with the current build, so it's like, what's changing here? But because Polar Star is crit rate main stat, and I'm running her on perma or super freeze or whatever you want to call it. That freeze with double cryo with 4-piece blizzard should give her again 55% extra crit rate. So that's basically all the crit rate that she really wants, and I can just go ham on crit damage. And so when that happens, because Polar Star's passive here does give her attack percent, right? At full stack, she's getting 48% attack, and it's actually more attack stat than what attack percent main stat attack percent circlet gives. Then that means that, oh yeah, I can just switch her over to crit damage instead, right? Crit damage main stat, so give her as much crit damage as possible, 61, 62%, however much it is, and then try to go for like as much attack stats as I can. Like, I don't even want crit rate stats at that point, because, you know, why would I? She doesn't need crit stats anymore. I mean, hell, yeah, I could look for potential crit damage circlets. It's not any of the ones I've leveled already, because these are mostly ones that, you know, already have crit rate on them. And honestly, this is not bad here. You know, crit damage, a little bit of crit rate, a little bit of ER. How much ER does she have on this, right? None, actually. So yeah, this is even better. And 14% attack percent. Or yeah, 14 attack percent. So I could use that too, you know. I just use that as my off piece, because yeah, her circlet is already off piece as it is. So yeah, I've got plans, actual plans for my Ganyu, but again, it hinges on us getting yet another Tartaglia / Polar Star rerun. I'll also have to see if, for example, I heard good things about, where is she? I've heard good things about Fischl running Polar Star, now that I think about it. Because if I think about it here, elemental skill and burst damage increased by 12%. That's great, obviously. After anything that Fischl does hits an opponent, she'll gain 1 stack of Ashen Nightstar, and it gives her, you know, a bunch of attack percent. Yeah, like I could also run this on her as well. And technically, this would give her even more crit rate than Skyward Harp. But then again, she's running R5 Skyward Harp already, and it's already giving her, and that also gives her both crit rate and crit damage. And I think that at that point, that's a little too good to pass up. Because yeah, actually maybe not. Maybe Polar Star's attack percent passive will actually, you know, edge give Polar Star the edge over even R5 Skyward Harp. I don't know, but. Yeah, maybe I will go for like 2 copies of Polar Star just to be on the safe side. When the time comes when I can actually like revise my Fischl's artifacts over to a 4-piece golden trope. We'll see. I'm gonna look up some guides on Fischl, because I know people have put out some updated Fischl guides, gearing guides, ever since we got the new Fontaine artifacts. Yeah, those are my plans for Ganyu. And hopefully I'll be able to act on them soon. Here's Eula, everybody's favorite thigh and ass queen. I'm not gonna lie, as much as I like Eula because she's physical, I haven't really seen a point in using physical damage even back when she first started, or even back when we first got her. Yeah, I haven't really worked on my Eula stats much. Like, she's only at 63, 151 CRCD. I mean, it's not bad, but I've seen much better stats than this, at least. I mean, at least she's got 50% recharge, so she shouldn't really have a problem getting her ultimate. And she's all about her ult damage as well, so ER is very important on her. That's the thing with Eula. You have to figure out how to give her decent enough crit stats, but also give her a ton of energy recharge at the same time. She does have Song of Broken Pines, which is great. And of course, she's on 4-piece Pale Flame. But yeah, individually her pieces aren't the best. Her cup is actually really good, surprisingly so. Obviously the EM isn't really gonna do anything, but it's both inset, it's physical damage, and it's double crit, and the double crits roll pretty well, decently well, so I can't really complain about her cup. Her timepiece is ass. Actually no, it's not. It's actually not bad, but simply because it has almost 30% ER. So I'll say that much. Her feather's actually really good. This run rolled really hard into crit rate, so I'm pretty thankful for this at least. Her feather is actually not bad. I mean, thank God too, because like my Eula doesn't really have that great crit rate in the first place anyway. So yeah, we'll definitely need a lot more crit rate on her ass. And actually, her flower is actually not bad too, because it's at least giving her a ton of energy recharge. But then again, the flat defense should have gone into crit rate or something. That would have been nice. And then finally her circlet crit rate, and then a little bit of crit damage. Twice into flat HP, which sucks. So yeah, clearly a low roll, like two crit damage roll or whatever. So yeah, Eula's artifacts could certainly be better. And I've only ever rolled her C2. But she is at 999. Yeah. I like Eula, but I wouldn't consider her my personal waifu. I mean, she does have one of the best cakes in the game, as you can see there, without the game censoring itself. But yeah, as for like a waifu, not really for me. She's there though whenever if I ever feel like using her. Here's Aloy, the character everyone's forgotten about. However, like I've said before, I still went out of my way to give her at least a workable build. You know, 61 CR with 126 CD, lots of energy recharge because it's kind of hard for her to gain energy on her own, even though she only has a 40 cost ult. With the way I built her too, it makes sense because I'm trying to focus on her ult damage mainly with the 2-piece Noblesse and 2-piece Blizzard. So I gave her own copy of Amos Bow, which is probably part of the reason why her stats don't look that great. I could probably change her her Amos Bow to however you pronounce that, to something like, I don't know, Aqua Simulacra maybe. Aqua or at the very least Skyward Harp. That would be nice, now that I think about it. So yeah, those are options. And here are her artifacts. Just 2-piece Noblesse, 2-piece Blizzard. Again, obviously they're not the best, but at least she can do damage. I can use her, surprisingly. No constellations because, again, Aloy was a crossover character, the only one in the game, because, you know, because of the PlayStation deal. And she is at talent 999s. All the nines. But yeah, not much to say about Aloy. I mean, she's here. I do have her, like, geared up in case I ever feel the need to use her. But, yeah, unfortunately, I will admit I don't really care much for her. I mean, it's nice that she's part of the game, at least. I mean, she is the one hope that we have of having actual collaborations for Genshin, but who knows if we'll ever have actual collaborations. But, oh well. Perhaps the future will be a little bit brighter. Here's Shenhe. Again, one of my favorite waifus in the game. Oh, my phone is going off. Probably in a national, like a security alert or something. We have a storm here in Southern California, so that's probably what it's about. So, while my phone goes crazy in the background. Yeah, my Shenhe, I'm extremely proud of my Shenhe build. Like, even more so than my Ganyu, actually, to be honest with you. Because, yeah, I spent a lot of time perfecting my Shenhe build, and I'm very happy with where she is now. So 75 CR, 145 CD. Ideally, this should be 150, but honestly, I don't care. This is good enough. And then 40 ER. The ER is extremely important on Shenhe because she's got a very expensive ult. Yeah, 80. I thought it was 90 at one point, but it's only 80. 80 cost ult, and traditionally she has trouble generating energy. But yeah, she's got a copy of her signature, Calamity Queller. And she is on, I just gave her straight attack stat boosts. Just try to make her support role as strong as possible, while also at the same time giving her really good crit stats so she can actually do some serious damage on her own at the same time. You'll notice that was a thing with a lot of my other supports in the past too, or that I mentioned earlier too. But yeah, double 2-piece with Shimenawa and Gladiators. Yeah, her pieces individually are like, almost all of them are super cracked, and let me show you. This is her cup attack percent. This is 40 CV, I'm pretty sure, because this is what, 18.6? 18.6 plus 21.8. Yeah, that's barely over 40 CV. So this is a 40 CV cup. Would have been nice if the HP percent were like, I don't know, ER at the very least. Would have been nice if it wanted to crit damage, so that way she would have over 150 crit damage to make it even more perfect. But, you know, can't do much about that. This is her timepiece. Not quite 40 CV, but hey, I mean, it's got 35% crit damage, so again, can't really complain. This was probably a 3-line start, and the fourth line went into the initial substat roll went to flat HP. Would have been better if it went to crit rate, but whatever, didn't need it. Feather. Her off-piece feather is one of the best feathers that I think I've ever rolled. I'm pretty sure this is 40 CV as well. Is it 40 CV? No, I think it's quite... No, it is 40 CV, yeah. Because 27.2, 27 plus 13, it's exactly 40 CV. Just barely over 40 CV, like 40.4, I think. Yeah, this is the best, one of my best off-pieces that I have. Yeah, both 40 CV, a little bit of ER as well, and attack percent. Yeah, I don't know how much better this can get. Yeah, and what's crazy is at the time, I think this feather was the last piece that I built for my Shenhe. And yeah, like this feather like rolled perfectly. Like everything I wanted to roll, it rolled. A little bit of crit damage, mainly into crit rate, because at the time I was really looking for crit rate to really round out my Shenhe's kit, and a little bit of energy recharge to go with that. Yeah, the sheer amount of luck that went into this feather, everything just worked out. Everything just fucking worked out, man. It was just meant to be, honestly. Her flower doesn't have crit damage, which is unfortunate, but it did roll once into ER and the rest into crit rate. So can't really complain about this, other than, you know, oh, why wasn't HP percent like crit damage or something? That would have been nice, I guess. But you know, that would have been too good. And then lastly, crit rate, off-piece circlet crit rate with crit damage. Yeah. And with a little bit of energy recharge. I'm pretty sure I've had this circlet for a long time too, because I recognize these stats. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is like a year 1 circlet that I still have. Because it rolled very well from right from the get-go. And so yeah, now my Shenhe has it as a permanent part of her artifact gear, or artifact set rather. Permanent part of her gear. Actually, now that I think of, yeah, because I was about to say, I forgot that her feather was the off piece from Deepwood. I was about to say, because I was initially, right, I was backing out. I was like, wait a minute, does my Shenhe have 3 gladiator pieces? But no, that's not the case. C6, again, waifu, and triple crown. So that shouldn't be a surprise. So yeah, that's Shenhe. How many more characters we got? We're almost done. God, this video is going to be at least 2.5 hours long. Christ. Wriothesley. Alright, let's go over Wriothesley. I like Wriothesley, actually. He's pretty cool. I like his demeanor. He seems like a Giga Chad. Only 42 CR, but again, he's on the Hunter set. And that gives you 36% extra crit rate. So his crit rate goes up to, what, like 78% or something? So that's perfectly fine with me. And with the 200% crit damage. To 206% crit damage, and with a little bit of ER. I don't think he needs this much ER, but you know, nice to have it and not, I guess. Because I don't think his ultimate is that expensive. It's like 60, yes, 60. Though I don't know how easy it is for him to get energy. Now that I think about it, he should get it pretty easily. I think he gets energy particles once he's in his skill stance, and then he starts punching people. Pretty sure anyway. You want to run him with the Shenhe ideally. Send C6 Shenhe, because goddamn he scales super hard with the C6 Shenhe especially. So yeah, Shenhe can act as a bit of a battery for him too, in case you know, he doesn't have enough ER on his own. But he's got a copy of the cash flow artifact. Funny name, but yeah, that's how it is. Crit rate main stat. I think it would have been better if it were crit damage main stat instead, but whatever. Just trying to make sure that his passive here doesn't give him additional crit damage anywhere, and it doesn't seem like it just increases his damage. Different types of damage. And again, he's on his Hunter set, or he's on the Hunter set. Cup is trash, unfortunately, but this is the best I could find. At least it gives him a little bit of ER, a little bit of HP, I guess. I guess HP isn't that bad. That's probably just copium, though. A little bit of EM. His timepiece, surprisingly, is actually not bad. At least we got 20% crit damage out of it. And yeah, crit damage is kind of what he needs right now. His feather actually is not bad. Yeah, his feather's not bad either. For how little time that I spent farming Hunter / Golden Trope domain. Yeah, I'm surprised I was able to even get this kind of a piece from him. Or for him, I should say. Still double crit and whatnot with a little bit of EM, or with a little bit of ER. Flower is okay. Again, not the best. Far from the best. But I mean, hey, at least he's getting some crit damage out of it. And then lastly, his what is it? His circlet. Right, because he's running Hunter set, I don't need to worry about running him with a crit rate circlet, so I just looked for the best crit damage circlet, main stat circlet that I could find, and this seemed pretty good. So, mostly rolled into attack percent and crit rate, so that seemed good enough to me. So now he has it. Only C0 because, again, I haven't really been able to go hard on any Fontaine characters so far. I would definitely not mind getting to like C1 or C2 though, because especially his C1, it changes his playstyle. I think where something to do with his charge attacks. I forget exactly what makes it easier on him. I'm so used to C0 Wriothesley. I don't really, whatever problem he has with C0 being C0, I don't really have a problem with anymore because I just used to play him like that. So yeah, doesn't really matter to me. I'm finally starting to work on Wriothesley's talents here. Because, again, he needed these things, and it took a long time for me to get Lyney maxed out, because Lyney needs the same weekly boss materials. But yeah, finally I'm able to work on Wriothesley's shit here. And so yeah, I'll be leveling him up as I get his materials. Still might take a while, though, because, you know, I don't want to use Dream Solvents on Wriothesley's stuff right now. Because I'm mainly saving those for, obviously, Navia, and maybe Shenhe? I don't know if I want to triple crown Shenhe yet. I don't know. I'm still deciding. I don't even have her right now, so I don't know why I'm even thinking about it right now. But you know, Shenhe is still hot, and I did crown her two students, so it's like, you know, kind of makes sense, right? So yeah, not sure. Not sure when I'll be able to max out Wriothesley's skills. It'll take a while, I think, but just know that I am working on him. Alright, Jean, one of my other favorite characters in the game. And one of the characters that I actually still use quite frequently. Because my favorite jank Hyperbloom team is Raiden, Yelan, Nahida, and Jean. A team that one of my viewers actually introduced to me, I think, all the way back since like last year even. So, yeah, shoutouts to him. And so this is what my Jean stats look like. Again, the whole I'm a support, but mentality. 66 CR with 130 CD, basically almost a perfect 1-to-2 crit damage ratio. She has a little bit of healing damage bonus. I actually forget where she's getting this from. Maybe like a passive or something, I don't know. But most importantly, she has 200% ER. And that's very important for my Jean build, because I believe her ult is like 80 cost, yeah. So it's very expensive, but with 200% ER, no, she gets her ultimate very, very easily. Part of the reason for that is because I actually use a Scoured Blade on her. Yeah, Skyward Blade. And it has 55% ER main stat. So that's very nice. And with all the other perks that it comes with as well. She's running 4-piece Viridescent. Going over her stats individually here. Very good cup for her. I decided not to run her with Animo damage. Animo main stat. And instead just went for attack percent because she scales off of attack percent. She still does quite a bit of damage even still. And yeah, this cup rolled very well. A ton of ER, I think at least twice. This is probably a 2-1-2. Stat spread. Yeah, sounds about right. So yeah, double crit with double-digit ER, which is perfect for my Jean. Her timepiece is okay. Could have rolled better, but like this is the best one that I could find for her, and at least it's double crit. So, shit, man, I'll take it. This is her feather. Her feather rolled pretty well, actually, really well, actually. It's not quite 40 CV. It comes up a little short, but shit, man, it's as good as I can ask for anyway. Yeah. 12% crit rate, 13% crit damage, a little bit of attack percent. Might have been better if it were like, I don't know, if the defense percent were like EM, but you know, I ain't gonna complain. And then, oh yeah, right, so this flower was actually my very first Penta substat roll artifact ever. And I rolled the shit on stream too, I remember. I actually think there's a clip on my YouTube channel of me rolling this artifact, this very artifact. I think it should still be there. It's probably buried under the last 3 years worth of videos that I've made, but it should be there. At least I remember. I think I remember exporting that, clipping that part of the stream that I did when I got this artifact and put it in my YouTube channel somewhere. I'm not 100% though. Maybe it's not there. Maybe it's not here. Maybe it's just lost to time forever. I don't know. But Yeah, it was a 4-line start, penta energy recharge. Actually, I forget if it was a 4-line start. Maybe it was a 3-line start. And it just rolled 5 times in energy recharge. Yeah. Actually, yeah, now that I think about it, it was probably a 3-line start. And I rolled it anyway because I was like, let's see if it rolls 5 times. And sure enough, it did. So I'm like, fuck it, man. I guess I'm using this. And sure enough, it's perfect on my Jean build. Yeah. Gives her a little bit of crit stats. I mean, it helps that they're both max roll at least, so that's nice. And then a ton of energy recharge. Yep. A big reason why my Jean can run 200% ER. Fantastic. And then of course crit rate, main stat, circlet. Her circlet is by far her worst one. Her worst artifact, I should say. Yeah. Only 1 roll into crit damage. Would have been nice if one of the defense percent rolls went to crit damage instead. That would have been nice to have. But alas, some things are just not meant to be, I guess. But even still, hey, at least it has crit rate, crit damage, so can't really complain too hard. So yeah, that's my Jean build. Obviously, she's C6 and she's triple crowned. So that's my Jean. Venti. Venti's pretty simple. Obviously, I don't run him with the crit stats. He's got a shit ton of ER, even though he doesn't even fucking need it, because, you know, 40 cost. Actually, no, I thought he had a 40 cost, though. He has a 60%. Well, either way, his ult should be very easy to get. And, like, having 72 ER is basically overkill at that point. But, yeah, I run him with Stringless, because Venti was our very first limited time 5-star rate-up character. And so yeah, that was back in the day when that was back before the days when MiHoYo started putting out like signature weapons for every 5-star character. I forget who they started doing that with, actually, now that I think about it, because I don't even think they gave out Polar Star with Tartaglia's first rate up. I think, right? They only introduced that. They only put in a Polar Star with like his first rerun or something. I don't know. But yeah, something like that. But yeah, I still run Venti with the R5 Stringless because it's probably one of his best options, if not the best. Naturally, I run him with 4-piece Viridescent, and he's only C1. I've only ever rolled for 2 copies of him. Yeah, like he's cool and all, but you know, he's certainly not a wife or anything. So, yeah, he's good enough at C1. I mean, anything past C1, anything past... Actually, he doesn't even need a C1, because a C1 is literally... All it does is it just lets him shoot 2 more arrows from his charge attack, I think, right? Yeah, from his charge attack. Yeah, that's fucking useless. I don't ever fucking use it. So yeah, me rolling for C1 Venti ended up being a fucking waste of Prima Gems. Oh well. That was 3 years ago, so no need to fucking bitch about it now. But maxed out talents, minus crowns. Yeah. Obviously, I don't really use Venti much anymore. I mean, I don't know if anybody uses Venti much anymore. The problem with Venti is that a lot of enemies that we have to deal with, especially against bosses, they are immune to his, you know, his ultimate, the black hole that he fucking drops onto the stage, you know, with his ultimate. So, like, not really much of a reason to bring Venti. Like, Venti just kind of shits on anything that isn't resistant to crowd control. But as soon as he starts fighting enemies who are resistant to his crowd control, then yeah, he just kind of falls apart. Like unless you can like keep them in one space and you just have Venti just drop his ultimate right on top of the faces, maybe right on top of the heads, but usually that's not the case. Mr. Xiao, here he is. He's okay. I think I've got an okay build with him. My Xiao, I will forever be grateful to Xiao because he was the first character who allowed me to finally 36-star Abyss back in year 1 of Genshin. The first character. Like, by building Xiao, he was what allowed me, who allowed me to finally 36-star Abyss. So he'll always have my gratefulness for that. I do not forget. I do not forget that. But at the same time, like I've never really found a reason to like try to improve his stats more. I think if I give him some better artifacts, I can get him to like 75, 200 CRCD. Hopefully I don't sacrifice any of his ER for that, because like Xiao does want pretty high ER. because his ult cost is very expensive. And it's kind of hard for him to gain energy. Like, he gains no energy when he's ulted, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, that's kind of a problem. He does have Jade Cutter, but Jade Cutter is a what is it? It's a permanent weapon, which is why I have it at R5. Xiao and Fischl are the only 2 characters on my account who have, well, actually no, Xiao, Fischl, and Mona actually are like the 3 characters on my account that have who have weapons that are higher than R1. But yeah, like over the years I rolled so many copies of Primordial Wing Jade Spear that, like, yeah, I was able to comfortably R5 the one that Xiao had and still have 2 copies left over. Like, it's fucking crazy, dude. So yeah. Like, I remember staring at my Xiao in this weapon menu. I was like, I can just R5 his Jade Cutter. Not Jade Cutter, that's different. His Jade Spear, can't I? And so I did. And I was like, yeah, fuck it. Like, I have so many fucking Jade Spears and nobody really wants them except for Xiao, I guess. So, yeah, might as well. Alright, good talk. Yeah, he's on 2-piece Viridescent and 2-piece Gladiator. I know there are better artifact sets out there now, but, like, why the fuck would I want to spend resin to try to get him a better set at this point? Because, yeah, I don't remember the last time I actually used them, unfortunately. Mr. Pogo Stick gameplay. So, I did at least roll for R1 on him because, not R1, C1 for him, because C1 is actually pretty important. Lets him spam his E 3 times instead of just twice, I think. But he is at max talent level. So, yeah, there's Mr. Xiao. Kazuha, everyone's favorite meta whore. Alright, here's his stats. Obviously, I don't run him with crit stats because you only do that when he's at C6, I believe. 156 ER, which is good enough most of the time, but I think if I want to make his rotations a little bit tighter, then I should probably look for like 160 ER maybe, I would say. The important stat on him is the Element of Mastery, and yeah, mine has 955, which is okay. I think that's good, but I think I've seen other Kazuhas out there with like over 1,000 EM, which is amazing. He does have his own copy of Freedom Form. English is hard. Freedom Sworn, and he's on naturally 4-piece Viridescent. He is actually C4. I actually didn't realize he's already C4. When did I go for C4 Kazuha? I actually don't even fucking remember. When did I get his ass to C4? Like, I know that C2 is the really important one on Kazuha. I mean, both the C1 and C2. But I actually didn't realize his ass was at C4. When did I do that? I actually can't even remember. Huh? I mean, at this point, maybe I should just go take him straight to C6. I don't know. Anyways, his talents are all at 9, 12, 20, at 9 and 9. 9, 12, 9 in his case, because C3. Wanderer. Alright. Let's take a look at him. His crit stats could be so much better. I know that his artifacts right now are not very good. But these are good enough for now. He's still got 81, 82 CR with about 160 CD. So it's about, it's roughly 1-2 crit damage ratio, maybe a little bit under it. He's also got a good stack of ER as well, 40 ER. He's got his weapon, the Teletelas, if that's how I pronounce it, Remembrance. And then he's got his the new set that we got with Sumeru. Basically his set. But yeah, like I said, his artifacts individually are not very good. Like, I'm pretty sure this was a penta or a quad flat HP roll, which fucking blows. But this is the best I could find. Right. His timepiece, again, the best one I could find, not very good. His feather is actually okay. His crit rate rolled very, very badly, I think. Yeah, this is either a 2-3 roll or a 3-2 roll. I forget exactly what. But yeah, his crit rate did not roll very well. You can tell because if you have a crit rate stat that's at 8%, there's usually like two min rolls in there somewhere. Like 1 or 2 min rolls in there somewhere. So yeah, feather is technically good, but it could have been a lot better. But again, it's probably one of the best ones he has. It's either that or this one. I mean, this feather is still okay, but I think in terms of raw CV, this one is better. And it has ER too. There goes my phone again. Try to ignore that. Here's my flower. Double crit with the ER, a little bit of HP. Again, this is the best one I could find at the time. So, it is what it is. His circlet is actually pretty good. Can't really complain about his circlet. Rolled like what 3 times in the crit damage or something like that. Twice or crit 3 times, something like that. So, yeah, it's actually not, his circlet is actually not bad. But then again, it's his off piece, so it's like, yeah, of course it shouldn't be that bad. It's your off piece. He is at C2 because I do think he's pretty cool. And a 999. I do eventually want to go back and try to degen grind his artifacts here, this Desert Pavilion Chronicle set, just to see if I can get his ass to, you know, like something like 80% crit rate with 200% crit damage. Like, I think that's possible because his artifacts have quite a bit of room to improve. But I don't know when I'm going to be able to do that. Maybe one day. Mr. Zhongli, Mr. Dongli, CEO of GEO, our guy, the people's champ. I can go on and on. He's got 64 CR, 187 CD, 22% ER, 22.7 ER. I think technically I can try to get his ass to 7,200. Because he does have, I do have him with Staff of Homa. He does have his own copy of Staff of Homa. So I'm pretty sure that's possible. I just don't know if I'm ever going to do it because, honestly, Zhongli does not need those stats. Like, he's perfectly fine as is. But, yeah, maybe one day I'll switch. I'm also aware that 4-piece melt is probably not his optimal set. Even if it is, it works really awkwardly on him. Just because of the way it works with his skill, yeah. Because if you want his 4-piece, if you want to use 4-piece melt on him, you basically have to like barrel stuff one of his pillars like right next to an enemy, and they have to be near it the entire time because the pulses from the pillars need to keep hitting them for the 4-piece melt effect to keep going, right? So I'm aware of how weird it is. Like theoretically, tenacity should work pretty fine, pretty okay with Zhongli, but in practice it's not best. So it's like, well, like my question is like, what else should I run on him, you know? Should I run like double 2-piece on him? Like honestly, I'll probably go for like, I don't know, either 4-piece emblem or like 2-piece noblesse and 2-piece archaic petra or some shit, just to maximize his ult damage, because why not? So maybe I'll do that in the future. I don't know, go full DPS. I mean, hell, I've turned a lot of my supports into something of DPSs themselves, so it's like, I might as well do it for Zhongli too. I mean, he's probably the easiest one to do that for, right? So, my Zhongli is only C4. I have had opportunities to roll for C6 for him in the past, but I didn't take him, so he's still C6. Not like he needs to be not like he needs to go all the way down to C6 anyway. As long as he has, you know, C1, that's perfectly fine, honestly. And he's obviously 9-12-9. All right, Mr. Albedo. Here we go. So his crit rate and crit damage substats are not the best. Like he's got a lot of crit damage, but not a lot of crit rate. So only 52, 168. Ideally, I want to get his crit rate at least up to 60% crit rate. Ideally up to like 70 or even 80, you know, for the 1 to 2 crit rate, CRCD ratio. A little bit of energy recharge. I don't think he really needs that much. I forget how much his ult costs. Yeah, only 40, so yeah, he doesn't need that much ER. And he's running a Cinnabar Spindle, the weapon that nobody else can use because we don't have another defense scaling sword user or one-hander. He's on 4-piece Husk. I almost said Dusk. He's on 4-piece Husk now. For those of you guys who've been keeping up with my Genshin's Whales log videos, you guys will know that last month, I think last month or 2 months ago, my Albedo was still on 4-piece Tenacity. I finally changed his artifact set over to 4-piece Husk after talking about it for like months and months of me doing that straight. So yeah, finally he's on 4-piece Husk. Yeah. It's just that they could still use some improvement because, again, his crit rate is a little too low. Because previously, before Cinnabar Spindle, I just used the 3-star Harbinger of Dawn, I think. weapon on him. I think this one, yeah, because this one gives not only crit damage, but as long as his HP is above 90%, it also increases crit rate by 90% by 28%. Like this is one of the better 3-star weapons in the game, just because its crit stats are actually pretty fucking insane for a 3-star weapon. But yeah. One of my viewers was like, hey, why don't you try using Cinnabar Spindle on Albedo, because no one else is going to use it. I was like, you know what, you got a good point. And so I did. I gave Cinnabar Spindle to his ass. I mean, it would have been really nice if Cinnabar Spindle had a crit rate main stat instead of defense %, but thanks to this and its passive, like, my Albedo does fucking cracked damage, man, especially when it does crit. And it takes advantage of the 170% CD he does have. Like, shit, bro. He does so much damage. But yeah. He is C2, actually. I actually don't know why I rolled for C2 for him specifically. Maybe because at the time I was like, oh, what's his ideal constellation? And my chat was like, oh yeah, he wants, like, this character wants C1 or this character wants C2 or whatever. So yeah. He is C2 for what that's worth. And he's maxed out talents, 999. We're almost at the end, finally. Here's Itto, as he does Oni things. 77 CR with 200% CD, and then 132 ER. So decent crit stats, made even better when he ults because, or when he charge attack, because again, that's a C6 benefit. Just here you go, you just have 70% more crit damage. Enjoy. He does have Red Horn, a copy of his own Red Horn. Very nice. And then obviously a 4-piece husk here. C6 and a 9-12-12. Itto is my main Geo damage DPS, especially whenever I run the boys in mono Geo teams. Basically, the boys is the mono Geo team with him as the main DPS, but also with Albedo being sub DPS, Goro being support, and who is it? Zhongli being shield support, and then the occasional Petrify CC, and of course the damage that he does with his ultimate. So, yeah, I really like running Mono Geo. So I actually use Itto quite a bit because of that. It's always fun just bashing people's heads in with just, you know, sheer unadulterated Geo damage. It's quite funny. I quite enjoy it myself. So yeah. He's actually C6 only because he's had multiple banners where, yeah, like 4-star characters have come out with him. The main example that I can think of is back when Qiqi first came out, Shinobu Qiqi. You know, his, the de facto leader of his gang, because Itto himself is fucking utterly incompetent. Yeah, I got Itto to C6 while I was rolling for C6 Qiqi Shinobu. So that's why he's C6 too. And hey, I don't regret it considering how much I use Itto in my Mono Geo teams, like I said. Here's Navi as she puts on her glasses, her sunglasses. Aviators almost. These are her stats, 77 CR, 180, 198 CD. The dream is for me to have her with at least 70 CR and 200% crit damage. She's actually almost there already. With a little bit ER, like she doesn't need that much. She gets her energy, she gets her ultimate very quickly. Because of all of the energy particles that her skill generates. So, like, she can legit have 0 ER, and I think she'd still be fine. So any extra is, like, just a straight-up win. I did roll for a copy of Verdict for her at the last minute, on, like, the last or second to last day of her banner. So I managed to pick one up for her eventually. But yeah, 22% crit rate. Helps out a little bit. She is on 4-piece Nighttime Whispers. This is her off-piece. A pretty good off-piece, actually. I mean, usually, I can't, for the life of me, usually get a actual decent Geo damage bonus cup, so, I mean, hey, I'll take this, man. Beggars can't be choosers and all that. Her timepiece is what is fucking killing me. I've been grinding for at least the past month, on and off. I've gone through at least over 150, 160, maybe even 100, 170 fragile resin just to try to get a decent enough timepiece, attack % timepiece. And this is all I have to show for it. It fucking blows, man. Like, I'm waiting for the day that I can finally get a double crit attack % timepiece. And hopefully when I roll it, it's not gonna roll like absolute fucking dog shit. So yeah. Like, this is the key This is the missing. This is the key. This is the missing key to the puzzle that I need to finally unlock the exalted 7200 CRCD build for my Navia. Like once I get that, I will be fucking happy, and I will probably never touch Nighttime Whispers domain ever again, because this shit is cray cray. But yeah, still waiting for a double crit attack percent timepiece to drop. And when it does, oh boy, you know for a fact that I'm going to drop this fucking timepiece like a bad habit. This is her feather. It's okay. Could have rolled better, especially like in terms of like, oh, the EM roll could have gone to double crit, because Navi does not care about EM whatsoever. At least I'm pretty sure she doesn't. Other than the narrow point where like, oh, better EM means she gets better shields, and that way her shields that she picks up from, you know, crystallized reactions will last a little longer, and blah 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 whatever. But yeah, if I can, I'll be on the lookout to replace her feather, but I don't expect that to happen anytime soon. Same thing with her feather, her flower feather. Goes for both, honestly. Yeah, actually her flower I think is technically better, maybe? Gives her a lot of crit damage at least. So yeah, I'm less inclined to replace her flower. More inclined to replace her feather, to be honest. Because again, I want more crit damage for her. So yeah, naturally. Let's see. And then finally her circlet. Oh boy, her circlet. Her fucking circlet. So, this is one of my most recent artifacts that I rolled. This is the best artifact that I think I've ever rolled in the entire game in my past 3 years of playing. I even have a clip that I recorded or that I snipped out of my stream that I rolled this on, and I have it on my Twitch channel. Oh, not Twitch channel. I have it on my YouTube channel for you guys to watch. It's actually one of my more recent videos. Actually, if you just go to my channel and scroll down a little bit, you can find it. I think the video title is something like "I need this to roll like 20% crit rate" or something like. Unless this rolls 20% crit rate or something like that. And yeah, like I was looking for a crit damage main stat circlet in set for my Navia. I noticed that, hey, this one turned out to be a 4-line start with crit rate at the bottom. I was like, oh well, fuck it, I'll try to roll this and see what happens. And so just roll after roll after roll, everything went to crit rate. And towards the end, I was like, no way, this is gonna roll penta crit rate, right? Like I've seen this a lot of times before. Like this is I was getting like flashbacks, literal fucking PTSD flashbacks. Like, oh boy, it's gonna fucking fail me at the end here. I just know it, right? I just know it. It's not gonna. It's gonna fail me like it always does. And then just magically, the last roll was I think like a max roll, even like not even any roll, just a max roll into crit rate to finally bump it up to 20.6%. Yeah, because I think the previous roll before that was like 16.7, so that meant that I need to at least high roll with 3.5 to get it over 20% crit rate. If it was gonna penta crit rate, if it was gonna penta roll crit rate at all, but no, it maxed it out. It went all the way up to 20.6. I was like, holy fucking shit. So yeah. Given how much I like Navia and given how I plan to triple crown her ass, yeah, it's only fitting that she has one of my best artifacts in the game on my account, with the literal 20 CV or 20 crit rate substat artifact. Like 20 CV alone is already 40 CV, and that's minus the fact that this is crit damage main stat. Yeah, like even as I'm sitting here watching this, I'm still in kind of like a subtle state of like shock and disbelief that I even have this, like I even own this artifact. Yeah, like you Genshin players will understand, but if you guys haven't been playing Genshin for that long, or maybe you don't even play Genshin at all, you're just watching it just because, just as like background noise or whatever, because a lot of my viewers do that, because I put out a lot of longer videos, because that's kind of my thing. Yeah, no, like trying to roll 20% crit rate as a substat is so incredibly hard. Like, pretty sure if you calculate the stats, if you like calculate the odds for it, like you literally that like it's as hard as like winning a fucking lottery or some shit like that. So yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say. Like I can't be happier with this. Like I guess the only thing that I could complain about here is that that is an attack percent. Right? Oh, it's HP percent, but it's only flat attack. But at that point, it's like, yeah, whatever, dude. Whatever, man. It's 20% crit rate, man. That shit is beautiful. Just like Navi herself, so again, it makes sense. But yeah, this is by far my, hands down, my luckiest and best artifact I've ever had. And I just got it like last month, or however long it's been. And it took me 3 whole years, over 3 years, to be able to get an artifact quite like this. So, Jesus Christ, man, that was so lucky. Alright, but that should be my Navia build. She's only CS0. If I had the money, if I still had a stable job, and I was, you know, still working and had a salary, like, Navi would have been an instant C6 for me, no questions asked. So, there you go. We're still working on her talents. I'm going to get her normal attack to max level, and then I'll start working on triple crowning her ass. So yeah, expect my Navia to be triple crowned at some point. It'll probably take me like another, I don't know, couple more weeks of the weekly boss cycles, but I'll let you know. I'll keep you guys up to date. Okay, and finally the other 5-star Hydro characters. Why are Mona and Yelan all the way to the side here? Why aren't they over with these guys? With Kokomi, Tartaglia, Ayato, and everybody else. Yeah, what do they do? What are these two doing all the way over here? Because usually the game like groups all the 5-stars together in terms of elements, right? Whatever, they're here. Anyways, here's Mona. Mona is my favorite character in the game. Ever since the beginning, and she remains so to this day. My main waifu from Genshin Impact. So, now that I've gotten that out of the way, let's take a look at her. So she's got 74.6 CR with the 164 CD. A little bit over 1 to 2 crit rate, crit damage ratio, but that's good enough for me. She, for those of you guys who actually use Mona, she has very low energy recharge, or at least you guys will probably think this is very low, at 137.8 only. The reason why is because she uses R3 Skyward Atlas. I'm debating whether or not I want to give these 2 copies of Skyward Atlas to her so that way she has an R5 Skyward Atlas, but I haven't jumped the gun yet. I haven't jumped the gun quite yet. But the reason why she has such low ER is because I actually run my Mona on a normal attack build with 4-piece Heart of Depth, not 4-piece Emblem. That being said, if you do use Mona, I highly recommend you don't do what I'm doing here and just stick to 4-piece Emblem. 4-piece Emblem is just perfect for Mona, no matter how you look at it. Only do this if you like main Mona and you have Mona at least C2. Because her C2 is what allows her to have that 20% chance to automatically use a charge attack. And those charge attacks add so much to Mona's DPS. If you want to run her as if you want to run her as a normal attacker. Like main DPS on field Mona, but that's not very efficient because Mona is much better at the standard meta quick swap nuke ult build with 4-piece Emblem and just switch her back to somebody else and let them continue smacking enemies again. But because I like Mona that much, I do run her off meta on an off meta build with 4-piece Heart of Depth. She has my best Hydro cup. Period. Yeah, because this one was a 4-line start double crit, easily 40 CV. Yeah, I don't think I'll ever get a better Hydro Cup than this. Yeah, she has my best off-piece Hydro Cup in the game. Her timepiece is also very good. This is also 40 CV easily. Yeah, 41, 42%. Yeah, too bad it doesn't have ER substat, but again, I'm not complaining. Her feather is also not bad. Again, not quite 40 CV. At least, no, actually it is 40 CV. Yeah, because it has 13% crit rate. So 26 plus 14. Yeah, it is 40 CV. Yeah, so her feather is actually really good too. Unfortunately, it rolled once in the defense percent, but that's okay. Her flower is also extremely goated. Really, really fucking good. Again, another 40 CV artifact. Again, these artifacts are just missing ER, which kind of sucks. Because, she has a passive that scales off of ER, where she gets better, I think, Hydro damage bonus the more ER she has. So, like, definitely a couple of missed opportunities here with her feather and flower. Actually, not her feather. Sorry, her feather already does have some ER at least. But her timepiece. Actually, not just her timepiece alone, but her cup, her timepiece, and her flower. Like, these could have all rolled ER, but unfortunately they haven't. So that's kind of like the thorn in my Mona's build, in my Mona build. And her circlet is by far her worst artifact. I mean, hey, it at least almost has 20% crit damage. But if I were to improve one of her artifacts, it would definitely be her circlet. Because yeah, I don't know how the fuck I'm gonna be able to improve any of her other artifacts. Like literally, I'm not even shitting you. Like, I think she has like 3 or 4 40 CV artifacts alone. I'm pretty sure, right? See, Cup is 40 CV because what? 15.5. Yeah, it's over 44 CV. So that's 1. Her timepiece has 44 CV or 41 CV. Sorry. So that's 40 plus CV. That's 2. Her feather is barely 40 CV. So that's 3. And her flower also has 40 CV at 42%, so that's 4. So yeah, all 4 of her pieces, except for a circlet, and again, circlet's kind of an outlier because, you know, you can get a crit rate or crit damage main stat, so that almost doesn't even count. But all of her artifacts, except for her circlet, they all have 40 CV. So my Mona is arguably, there goes my phone again for the 3rd time, arguably my my Mona is my best geared character in my account. Yeah, she is by far the most. She's got the most amount of investment that I put into any character in Genshin Impact. Makes sense because she's my waifu, or she's my favorite character in the game. So yeah, it makes sense why I put in so much effort in trying to get her stats as cracked out as possible. So yeah. All that just to run her in an off meta build. Yeah, Omega lol. But hey, that's how I want to run her. And honestly, she's been doing just fine. It's not like I need to run her in a standard four piece emblem build. Far from it. So yeah, love my Mona. And yeah, I don't know if I can ever improve my build that I've got going on here for her. Except for her circlet, maybe I can improve her circlet. But again, that's going to be very hard. I mean, ideally, I'd like to find something with crit rate, main stat, inset, with attack percent, ER, and crit damage. But again, that's going to be very hard to do. I'm not sure if I'll ever get to that point. At least not anytime soon. C6 because she is a permanent character. And she's triple crowned, as you might expect. So yeah, that's my Mona. Love my Mona. And here's Yelan. Here are her stats, ACR, 231 CD. With a little bit of energy recharge, 20%. It could be better, but honestly, it's not that big of a deal for my Yelan. She used the Aqua Simulator, naturally. And then she also runs a 4-piece Heart of Depth. Yelan is just like my Mona, where I also run an off-meta artifact set for her. Yelan is basically just like Mona and Raiden, where ideally you want to run her with 4-piece emblem because it's just the perfect set for her. But here, my Yelan is C6, and at C6, whenever Yelan ults, she gets to shoot off like rapid fire, like all of her normal attacks turn to charge shots basically, and she can do that once every time. Like she has like what 4 or 5 shots. So basically, every full normal attack combo, the first full normal attack combo she does after ulting, are all charge shots basically. So she has 5 of those shots every ult, or after she ults. After she uses an ult. So because of that, and because her constellation specifically says that those charge shots are, well, charge shots, yeah, that means that, 4-piece Heart of Depth makes sense on her for C6 Yelans. So that's why I run her with the Heart of Depth, as you can see here. So yeah, she should also have some pretty good pieces. Her cup is not great. I mean, it's okay. It's got double-digit crit at least, so that's cool. Her timepiece is alright too. I'm forgetting if this is quite 40 CV. Let's see, 18.6. No, it's not quite. It's like 37, like 38%. It's like 38, 39 CV, but it's not quite 40 CV. Maybe if it had rolled a little bit differently, maybe it could have been. But yeah, no, it's close, but no cigar basically. HP percent, but at least it's HP percent double crit. I've been talking for way too long. I'm starting to really stumble in my words now. Here's her feather. I believe the same thing. Close to 40 CV, but no cigar. At least it has a little bit of HP percent, though. Here's her flower, a little bit of ER and double crit. This is her off-piece circlet, and yeah, a little bit of ER, a little bit of HP percent, a little bit of crit damage. And we're back to her cup, yeah. And of course, you've got Aqua Simulator absolutely carrying the shit out of her crit damage stat. So yeah, that's how she's able to get 80 CR with 231 CD. I know for a fact that I can get her to 250 CD with while maintaining 80% CR. I could maybe drop that down to like 75 CR. So basically my Miko build, yeah, because my Miko has 70, 250, something like that. I think I can do that with my Yelan, but again, I have to go back and like Omega farm Heart of Depth pieces, and not sure if I'm able to pull that off anytime soon, but yeah, I can try, just not now. That, and if Yelan could have like 30% ER, maybe even 35 or even 40% ER, that'd be great too. Because 28% does feel a little low, but I can still work with it. And she's naturally C6, I already showed you guys that. And she's triple crown because I love my Yelan. Another waifu for me. I've already gone over Bennett and Chevy. I've also already gone over my my Traveler. So the last character that I haven't talked about because she was part of my she was on my main team when I booted up the game is Dehya. I love Dehya. And before I go over her crit stats, I just want y'all to know Dehya is much better than what the community says paints her out to be. However, I'm not going to hate the community with as much vitriol as I do with Kokomi because a lot of flaws. There are a lot of flaws with Dehya's kit. So a lot of the criticisms that the community has with Dehya are actually founded, as in like it's understandable. Like I get where they're coming from. I'm not trying to disagree with that because they're right. Dehya does have quite a few problems with her gameplay and her kit in general. However, she is nowhere near as bad as people say she is. And a lot of people just say she's bad because, you know, oh, they're just Genshin players who just pair anything that they hear or see off Twitter or Discord or in Twitch chat. So, you know, try not to trap yourselves in the Genshin echo media chamber, or the media echo chamber. I think that's the proper phrase for that. Yeah, try not to do that. And allow me to explain to you why through what I've done with my own Dehya. So yeah, Dehya is my favorite pyro waifu for sure. I've been waiting for a good pyro waifu to drop in Genshin, and Dehya is the first one, so I just jumped on that train as soon as I was able. And even despite all the detractions that the Genshin communities put on this girl. Again, but for good reason though. But anyway, let's go over her stats. 75 crit rate, 200% crit damage, only 11% ER. Ideally, this should be at least 120% with the way I've built my Dehya, but in order to get the 75, 200 CRCD build, I had to sacrifice ER, which is unfortunate, but at least she has a little bit. She's got R1 Beacon, and she's on 4-piece forward Kasha. For those of you guys who want to build your Dehyas, if your Dehya is not C4, because C4 is kind of the turning point in what kind of gear she wants. Before C4, your Dehya, if you want to use her, should be on 4-piece emblem build. She just needs that. She just needs 4-piece emblem. It's way too good on her. However, the moment you get enough Dehya spooks so she becomes C4, you can then change 4-piece emblem over to 4-piece forward Kasha. However, if you don't want to do that because, you know, you don't want to farm Vorukasha domain, I completely understand. 4-piece emblem is still really good on it either way. It's just that 4-piece Vorukasha should be your best in slot, just from like a theory crafting point of view. I'm pretty sure anyway. Which is why I have Vorukasha on my Dehya. Because my Dehya is C6. And I just want to let you guys know that I rolled for C6 Dehya right away as soon as she dropped. Matter of fact, Dehya is actually my last C6 character, as in like the last character that actually went out of my way, like intentionally went out of my way to C6, right? And I knew that she was a permanent character and all that, blah blah blah. Yeah, I know, I get that. I've already gotten several Dehya spooks already in the past year, basically, since Dehya came out in Genshin. Like, I get that, but I don't care. I went for C6 Dehya immediately. So, yeah. And naturally, she's triple crowned. And so, yeah. Even though my Dehya build still isn't perfect, I would consider, like, for example, my Shenhe build to be even more perfect. For Dehya, her kit took me, I think, the longest amount, like, continuous grind that I think I've ever had to do for any single character in this game. Because as soon as Dehya came out, I was determined to make her work. And so, like, with a fucking fervor, I just grinded my ass off at Vurokasha Domain as much as I could. And I did that for, I think, 3 or 4 months straight. I think 4 months straight, yeah. And until finally, I could give her a stat line that looks like this. So if I check her artifacts individually, this is the Pyro Cup that I got for her. No surprise, it's part of the Nymph Stream set, which is the other set that you farm alongside, along with Vurokasha in that domain, or in their domain. And I got a Pyro Damage Cup, turned out to be pretty decent, so now she has it. If only it had ER here, but oh well. This is her HP percent timepiece. I believe with Dehya, if she's only at C0, she wants an attack percent timepiece, but as soon as she turns C1, it changed to HP percent. At least that's what I've been told, so that's why I run HP percent on my Dehya, because mine is C6. Yeah, this is the best timepiece that I could get for her. Again, could be better, but shit, man, timepieces fucking hate me in this game, I guess. Because I had the same problem trying to find, you know, a good timepiece for my Navia as I did for my Dehya last year. This is her feather. Same thing with some of my other characters that I've gone over. Like, I've tried, like, leveling up a lot of different feathers just to see if I can get her a better one. But again, like, as you can see, all these feathers, these were all feathers that I leveled just for Dehya. But in the end, this is one of the first ones that I gave her, or I was able to give her, and this one is still the best one that she has, that she can have, you know, in context with the rest of her kit, basically, the rest of her gear. So, still standing strong, I guess. And of course, this is one of the 2 artifacts that has any ER on it whatsoever. So, ain't no way I'm getting rid of that. That's for sure. Matter of fact, yeah, I'm pretty sure the reason why I tried leveling all these feathers to begin with was because I was looking for a 3-line start feather that could also roll ER with double crit. So imagine how hard that was. Ugh. Anyways, here's her flower. Again, like, this is the best flower that I could find for her. Yeah, because, like, I needed a flower on her that rolled at least fucking 30% crit damage. Because, again, without this, and with my Dehya having exactly 200% crit damage, yeah, without this, like, I'm fucked, right? I can't maintain 200% crit damage with this. So, like, I don't know if I can ever replace this unless I get another replacement artifact for my Dehya where it rolls a little bit better crit damage. That way, it gives my flower a little bit of leeway to get, you know, to sneak in an ER stat in there somewhere. And this is also the best or not ER, the best circlet that I could find for my Dehya. Because it's got almost double-digit crit damage main stat, because Beacon is crit rate main stat, and then a little bit of ER there too. So yeah, this build took me 4 months of just non-stop grinding to get. Yeah, I fucking grinded my balls off for this for Dehya's build, and Jesus Christ, man, I don't know if I ever want to do it again for any other character, because that shit was fucking painful, but it was for Dehya, so it was worth it. And yeah, now I use my Dehya to just steamroll every abyss I come across, as long as the enemies there aren't pyro or they aren't flying. So yeah, I'd say it was an investment well worth it. Just being able to watch Dehya just go around, just punch everybody to death on her on mono pyro teams with her, Kazuha, Xiangling, and Bennett. But yeah, very, very proud of my Dehya build. Even if it's not one of the most perfect builds ever on my account, it's definitely one of the most. It's one of the ones that I've worked the most on, like her and Mona's. And Mona's, I only say that because I've worked on her build steadily over the past 3 years and trying to sneak in improvements here and there wherever I could. So, anyways, oh god, I've been talking for almost 3 hours long at this point, so I'm not gonna keep you guys here for much longer. So, thanks for watching for both the first half of the Genshin's Whales log and this half for all the 5 stars as well. So, for any of you guys who have stopped by my stream or subscribed to my stream, but both my stream and my YouTube channel. For those of you guys who found me through my gacha addiction video, much appreciated. Hope you guys will stick around to watch more content from me. And yeah, thanks for watching this video too. Peace.